Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. It's your girl, Maria Park. I got my boy with me, Jett Groove. Make sure you like and subscribe to his channel. His information is below. We are here to talk about Moon Knight episode 6 and basically what we thought of all of season 1 to date.
Yep.
So this is going to be a very interesting stream.
Very interesting.
Very
Indeed.
interesting stream.
Shitty ass show.
Oh, I might lose my voice. Oh, Lord.
I mean, if it's worth it, it's worth it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys, disclaimer. I like Moon Knight as a character. I liked Oscar Isaac's his acting. I like the majority of the acting, in this actually. But as
I think
for
the best
plot,
part of it, actually.
yeah, the
The
plot itself.
performance.
I'm still trying. I know I say this a lot, but I really mean it when I say these things. I am still trying to find the plot of Moon Knight. So I don't know where the plot is. So that is problematic for me. And that's a thing. So Groove, why don't you give them a very brief, you don't have to do the whole overview, a very brief recap of episode 6, and then we'll just jump right in.
All right. Super easy. The Great Power Ranger woke back up. They had a whole kaiju battle. And then they rode off into it in a limousine.
I mean, sadly, that's
the story.
That's literally in the nutshell.
If I told you that on the street, you think I was some crackhead having a fever dream. That makes absolutely no sense. It is such a nothing really of importance happened. Nothing. I mean,
Layla became the avatar of Tourette.
Yeah.
For like a millisecond.
She had wings and stuff, which I don't get why she had wings.
I thought she was channeling Wonder Woman from 1984.
Hey, you know what though? She did. She's like a ripoff of another movie character in DC, Marvel. What are we doing? You know what? It makes it even stranger because that character doesn't even exist. That was a brand new thing. That was all made up. And I don't care about that. So we got Harley Quinn. You can make up characters. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you.
I'm not mad about that.
I don't know why we only got Moon Knight the little amount that we did, because I agree with what I said last time we did this stream for episode 5.
Yeah.
This should not have been called Moon Knight. It should have been called Mark Spector and his friend Steven.
Yeah, it's like, but no. But then they bring in Jake from State Farm at the very last minute. I guess we all forgot about Jake from State Farm in his khakis. And it's just, oh my God, you know what I mean? Just like,
well, he got an upgrade though. Instead of being a cab driver, he's a limo driver now.
What do you fucking do? From one driving to the other. You still got a class C, class C license. Didn't change anything. You know what I mean?
It's like, I mean, it wasn't even like a mystery. They kept name dropping Jake throughout this entire 6-episode extravaganza.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're like, oh, by the way, it was Jake killing them all along. It was Jake all along. And I'm like, really?
The thing is that why didn't Mark remember that?
Especially since he's supposed to be the main, personality. There's a lot of look, I got question marks all around this show. The kaiju fight with Khonshu and Amit was straight out of Pacific Rim. Like, just I think Harrow is the most disappointing for me, because he did, he had all of these people following him. He had all this clout. He was like doing his manipulative stuff. And then Jake just shoots him. He just shoots him. And I'm like, we could have done that from the effing beginning. I mean, we literally, Mark could have killed, Mark could have shifted into Jake, and Jake could have just taken out Harrow in episode 1, and then we wouldn't have had any of this shit. I don't know what makes Jake come out, because Khonshu knew about him.
Yeah. What kind of shit was that? They thought I was asking them. I fight for mines. I am asking y'all. Jake didn't tell me nothing. Huh. Motherfucker, you crazy. I asked another part of you.
Did not understand. I just looked at some reviews, and some other people actually agreed that they actually said that her outfit reminded them of Wonder Woman 1984. And I promise you, I have never read a review, so I think it's really funny when I have the same thought as other reviewers. But that the whole situation with Lady T, that's what I called her, and Layla is just so weird to me because like we didn't need all that. Layla has proven to be very stupid through most of this show, so like why do we need to build her up? We don't want to give the upgrades to the people that do not have critical thinking skills. We want to give them to other people. So that whole thing for me was unnecessary. It just really was. They just really needed something to do with her. That's what I think. She wasn't kissing or banging the main guy because they were on the outs. So I mean, she essentially technically got him killed.
Technically,
so,
she exactly got him killed. Who the hell in a moment of danger is like, we have a family discussion. Sit your ass down. Can we talk about this when we're not trying to get shot at? I'm just as I cut off this man's hand with an axe made of gold, of all metals be made of, that's been in this sarcophagus for how long?
Yeah, well,
and it's still sharp enough.
I didn't get that at all. Just like I have so many questions now. So my questions, they begin with this: did Khonshu resurrect Mark, or did he resurrect Jake? Who actually drugged themselves to the temple or to the altar for Khonshu to give him the deal of being his avatar? Was it Mark or was it Jake? Because we know that Mark obviously doesn't know when his personalities, for the most part, are taken over. Or if he does, he doesn't get it, which is really weird.
Well, see, Mark remembers making the deal with Khonshu.
True.
So it had to been Mark, but I'm sure Jake was there trying to kill people. But I guess when Jake got shot, he was like, "Nope, I'm out," and left Mark there to deal with the pain. I was like, shit, I'm not dealing with that.
I just think how they handled the other personalities is just very odd. Like they reinvented Steven completely.
Yeah.
And I know this is not the comic. I know he's not he's not meant to be a millionaire. He's British in this version. He's very, he's pretty much the Steve Urkel of the group.
I was going to say, maybe that's probably when I asked before, how did Steven get his ass whooped by his mom? And then I remember, because probably when Steven came through and his mom started hitting him, Jake came through. I think Jake is the enforcer. So like Jake can tolerate the pain or whatever. He's like, thank you, sir. Can I have another, that kind of character? I don't know. I'm just trying to make it make sense.
I don't know. I just feel, I legitimately feel like if Jake had been the one that came through, he would have killed his mom. I really think he would have killed her.
At the age, as a grown man, most definitely. But
I don't know. I mean, look, Cray does not have an age limit. So
I haven't seen any case studies at all of DID sufferers to have violent tendencies or histories at all due to their alters. So this is, I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Really, like I said, the whole situation is strange. And the reason it's so confusing is that with MCU, we're used to seeing superhero shows. And we do see the human element. We do see that they have lives, they have personal lives, they have drama, but it's not the main focus. This show's main focus was literally on the bromance of Mark and Steven. And then it just, I don't know, it took something away. I cannot legitimately call this Moon Knight. And that is my main problem. And I know people are going to have issues for me saying that, but it's true. I can't call it that because Moon Knight was only in it for about 12 minutes. Total out of 6 episodes.
You know what though? I mean, I just thought about this. Maybe that's why they didn't recognize Jake. Maybe they're putting the split person, because he really has split personality. They're putting the split personality with the Khonshu creating personalities paradigm. So when Khonshu came through, Khonshu created Jake, which is probably why Jake was chauffeuring Khonshu around, which he never had to do before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Jake was the personality he created. It was like his loophole to stay within the body, I guess, or some shit. I don't know. Because, in the comics, they say that Khonshu split his mind apart. But then later on, they retconned it.
In some, it was always theorized. It's been heavily debated in the comic universe whether he actually had DID or not. Because some people think he came in kind of traumatized, which would make sense because he was a mercenary. He was a rabbi's son, and he was who turned his back on his faith and his family, became a mercenary, and then died and was revived by Khonshu.
So it's like either he's like Sentry or he's like Dr. Fate. We don't know which one it is.
But and I mean, basically, at the end of the day, Mark should have been the Jake character of MCU.
Yeah.
and Jake is literally the information guy. He's the cab driver. He's the one you tell all your shit to. And then Steven was bankrolling. He started Spectre Corp. He bankrolled the whole organization. So like there was no Moon Knight could not do half of the things without Steven. And it's so weird the reinventions the MCU does. It's just
it is strange. It kind of absolutely makes no sense. But
I'm wondering if we're gonna have. See, I don't even know. I mean, I thought they were gonna have a second or sequel to Hawkeye, to WandaVision. Then we've already proven they're not. We are getting one for Loki. I don't know if this one's getting a sequel, and honestly, I don't know if I'm invested in it. To be honest with you,
I'm honestly not really. I just seen that. Where the fuck they call that? I don't know. Because I mean.
And I felt bad too. You know why? Because of course the show that I saw before this is a DC property, which is not something you normally say when you're comparing DCEU and MCU. But I saw Peacemaker, really and Peacemaker, like once you watch Peacemaker and then you try and watch this, it is very hard. It's
they better hire James Gunn back to do the next season because that shit.
Like seriously.
I mean,
I just feel like. Can I just say my opinion?
Yeah, I mean it's your stream. You talking about?
So my honest opinion on this, which again will probably irritate people, it felt like they didn't have a plan. They didn't outline this. They didn't, it almost felt like there was a different director, even though I know it wasn't, and every episode.
I can't make sense.
Yeah, it was so disjointed. The plot was disjointed. Like everything didn't connect. I mean, they're trying to do way too much with 6 episodes, and it can be done because Peacemaker again had 8 episodes and they did a phenomenal job. But 6 episodes for this with this, showrunner, director, whatever you want to call it, I really feel like they tried to do entirely too much with the little time that they had and the little amounts of episodes that they had. And it shows. It is so disjointed. Like the plot is just disjointed. I can't find the plot. I don't know if I'm supposed to be worrying about Steven. I don't know if I'm supposed to be figuring out what Mark wants, or Mark's desire to not have Layla become the next Avatar and to get out of being the Avatar himself. I don't know if we're supposed to figure out, this is really about Magical Jake and his tendency to kill everybody. I don't know if I'm supposed to be worried about what's going on with Harrow, because they keep showing Harrow, but Harrow's like, okay, I effed you over, so I'm going to go on for most of this episode now. He's off doing his shit behind the scenes, and nobody's stopping him because we're too busy focusing on Mark and Steven and what Layla being in her feelings. Did you kill my dad? Blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about this right now at the stupidest time to have a conversation.
If any of that shit matters, it's your disgruntled nature of the plot. It makes perfect sense because like the story is thus: they want to revive a god, or somebody wants to revive a god. He's like, nah. Other guy's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna stop you. I'm like, no, you won't. And he does revive the god, and then the guy said, I'm gonna stop you. Was like, okay, I'm gonna stop it and you, and did it easily. By the way, it's almost like Marvel then revived in the first fucking place. Who cares? But whatever, I digress. So like, okay, when we come back to Steve Jobs, I'm gonna call him that. Whatever.
Jobs.
when he wakes back up to be in the world. Remember when he was dead, Sekhmet was worrying about all these new souls entering too early, just falling into the sand, which is not even a thing. They kind of mix the Judaic going to Sheol, a world of darkness and dirt, with the Egyptian faith, and it's just do what you want, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. It's not mythology anyway. So they put it all together into one, boat. That's fine. I don't give a shit. But we come back to the real world. He hasn't killed enough people. He hasn't really killed anybody on a mass scale yet. He hadn't even awoken that god. So like, what did they see? Like, what do y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, but whatever, I digress. So like, the storyline was simple. Crazy asshole with weird hair wants to revive a god to purge the earth of what he calls the unclean, because fanaticism and the pious, whatever. We see that all the time in the US. And somebody's like, you better not, and their job is to stop them. It's very Mario versus Bowser kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is what I don't. I'm sorry, no more like Link versus Ganon kind of thing. This is what I don't understand. And this goes with your plot thing. The plot should follow some kind of order to explain how the hero gets to the villain and saves the day. We don't get a lot of that within the like 75, 85% of this show is just backstory. It's just explaining Mark and Steven being one person. Something the audience already knows. We already know who Mark and Steven are. We already know they're the same guy. It's explained that they're the same person in the end of episode 1, going to episode 2. It's very clear. We don't need to know why they're like that right now. It's not that important because they have a whole plot to go through, a whole story to finish. So they take what should be the plot for the story and create this entire just mess of scenes that we have to see to just see them banter back and forth. So see some guy talking to himself and then argue with his would-be wife. And it's like, if you wanted to do a sitcom, just say that. But if you didn't want to do a sitcom with every now and again bullets flying everywhere, stick to the script. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, just like the steps that they took with Haro, for instance.
yeah.
Why did Haro have to find, the tomb where Amit's body or where she's needed to be resurrected? But then he's like, actually, no, I don't need to resurrect her at the tomb. I need to go over here and do it. And it's like, like why? Like why? Why can't you just do it here? I don't understand. Why is this process this hard? I mean, this is a hard process. It's just like they had extra stuff they had to do, and I don't know why. It was so complicated. And we got Mark in the field of reeds, and he's like, I'm gonna go find my other personality because it's not fair that he sacrificed himself for me. I'm like, you're going.
That's his job. It's his job to protect you. You fucking idiot. It's like, I think the person who did Moon Knight did this out of anger. They made the show to show. Like somebody, I think they were sitting down and one friend's like, man, Moon Knight's the greatest. And they're like, no, Moon Knight sucks. He's just this and this. He's a crazy asshole that doesn't know what the hell he wants to do with himself. And they're like, no, you don't know. You read the comics? Like, you know what? I got you. Hold on. And they wrote an entire TV show, season 1, trying to make it whereas, yeah, no, Mark is a dumbass. That's really what this was. It was like Mark making bad decisions. And then his girlfriend, his wife, also making said bad decisions for him in his place. And then more bad decisions were made when the entire situation could have been solved episode 2.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the whole having the kaiju thing come in was just weird. Then also having Haro become Amit's avatar with his new staff was just whatever. All of it. Honestly, if Amit's like, I want to take people out before they do horrible things, then Haro should have been the first one she killed. I mean, he should have been gone. But she's like, nah, I'm going to use you as my lackey, basically. And I'm okay, and that goes against everything you're supposedly stand for.
Thank you.
So it's stupid. I don't get it. I don't get it.
If they wanted to fix this shit, they should have made episode 1. They find Moon Knight as episode 2. They find out Haro was trying to find the pieces to complete the chess game. Episode 3, they defeat Haro. Episode 4, 5, and 6, now we learn about Steven and Mark. And they're trying to reconcile that shit with that woman and understand themselves. And coming out to the end like, we can try it again. We can do better. That would have made more sense. It would have been a whole lot like, Falcon Winter Soldier, but it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
This, I don't know what the hell this was. This was like some weird Donnie Darko project. It just didn't work. It did not work. It didn't work at all. I shouldn't be watching a show waiting for Moon Knight to show up and do some superhero badassery and then hear a whole bunch of drama. It's like watching a telenovela for a little bit. It's just, I don't know. This is.
Well, you know that Layla's name, what they call her, is the Scarlet Scarab.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's new. Scarlet Scarab, huh?
Yep.
Why Scarlet?
Because they like saying Scarlet in Marvel. I don't know. Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet. Everything. They love putting Scarlet on female counterparts' names. My goodness. Jesus. Scarlet. Scarlet. It sounds deadly, but effeminate, and it's red like periods. What are you talking about? Stop naming everything Scarlet. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I also want to know why we just never got any backstory for Layla. You know what I mean? We understood that Haro was a disgruntled Khonshu worker, but how did you meet Layla? How did you get
because
together? How did you get married? Why? I mean, why? You know, all this information like is just not
I will say
a thing.
this. That's the one thing they got right. That shit right now for the story is not fucking important. Now they just follow that exact same bit of information with the rest of the dumb shit they put in there, would have been fine. As a matter of fact, they could have actually explored that if they just defeated Harrow by episode 3, like they should have done in the first place. We could have explored all of that, all of it, and had a good time doing it. But
Yeah.
no, we had to make our sandwich with the meat first instead of the bread. That's why it's all fucked up looking. Now you got a mess. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think I still would have liked to know a little bit about, because we know that her dad died.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how did you? And like we know that apparently she believes you approached me because you felt guilty. But like, where did he approach you? I know you're an archaeologist, but what the hell happened? You had all these adventures. I don't care about your romance. I just want to know what you did. Like, where did you go to find stuff? What were you working on? It's like all this stuff is just like a minute detail that they just kind of brush over. But then you made this woman like this really big deal, in this series, and it's like, well, I don't get it. I don't understand that.
It's a bigger question. That the excavations take a long time.
Mhm.
Stephen didn't show up at all within those years. Chances are an excavation.
I
I'm saying
guess
at the
not.
very least 6 months. The very least, like that was a short,
Oh,
dig
Lord.
site. Are you kidding me? He didn't show up at all. That's an entire like damn near 2 or 3 years. He just has no memory of. He's like, oh, yesterday I was 19, and then out of nowhere I'm like 24. What the hell? Like, it didn't strike you as odd, my guy. Like, you didn't. Why should I put the center on my bedroom? You didn't want to see help at that point. Like, well, I can't wake up missing years.
I don't get it. I don't get at all why. And this is just me. I'm just putting it out there. I do not understand at all. Like, first of all, they make it seem like Mark knows every personality or everything that's going on in his body, and that he's like sitting in the background just watching it all happen. But I don't get that because we know that in the comics he has more than 2 personalities.
Yeah.
But like I feel like them not understanding, first of all, them not having any realization of this Jake person other than name dropping him, not knowing anything about Jake, that is just really weird.
It is.
It's just really weird. And then, or at least for Mark, definitely, because he knew Steven was, a personality. Steven didn't know. Steven thought he was the main body or main personality. But like, how do they not know about Jake? There's just so much about this that's just bothering me. It just bothers me. This is my least favorite MCU show. I can't even say favorite.
It's not good. It's not even your least favorite. It's bad. It wasn't done well.
Yeah, and it's sad because I know that there are people out there that absolutely love how this was, put out, and I'm like, I don't
know what Kool-Aid they're drinking, but I don't see it. Like,
I don't get it at all. And then also, it makes you question what is the connectivity of this show with the rest of the MCU. Like, how are they connected? Like, everything's supposed to be interconnected with each other. So what happened in Moon Knight that affects Doctor Strange 2, that affects like Loki, that affects anything else that has happened so far and will happen, in the MCU? Like, what is it? What's the Easter egg? What is the cameo? What is it? I don't understand. So that's also problematic for me.
You're asking me a question. I wish I could answer for you.
Like, I
don't know.
I know with Hawkeye and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they did not have an Easter egg or a cameo per se of anybody else from the MCU, but they didn't have to because they're already established as Avengers. So they don't have to. They've already been through it. They were in Endgame. They dealt with the snap. We have no connection for Moon Knight with anybody. So this is a property, much like the Eternals, which kind of got some Easter egg and stuff and at least references in it. You have this, opportunity to connect it to all of these other shows, and you don't do it. And I'm hoping Miss Marvel is not going to, follow this same track. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. But I have a lot of problems with the fact that there's not. I mean, I could not find one reference. I may have missed it. I could have missed something that was just very, very fast, but I haven't found one reference whatsoever to how Moon Knight is actually in the MCU continuity. Like, how are they connected? So it's just weird. It's just very weird. It almost seems
Like
like it's a separate show.
it does. I mean, but I doubt it. They're gonna find a way to. Probably, that's what season 2 is for. Oh, you sure we're gonna watch that shit? I guess we're not. No one's gonna know. Well, some people will know. Some folks are gonna like, watch it and be like, oh man, I should have known. This is the shit. Like, I don't know. Hold on one second. You keep talking. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna keep talking to myself. So now, like, I feel like there are many steps they could have taken to improve this show. I really feel like, even on a collaborative effort, like talking to somebody and said, "Hey, can I use your character in my show? Can I have this Easter egg from your movie? Can I do all?" I mean, it's just crazy to me that we don't have that. It's really really weird. Hi, D Murray, how are you? And thank you for giving me a thumbs up. I know that this is very boring content because I'm talking about Moon Knight, and as you can tell from my tone, I'm very invested. But no, I feel like I don't get it, and I'm scared because this director is also being rumored to do. I guess he's doing either a series or a movie for Nova, and I don't want that to happen. So that is a problem too. Um, but yeah, I just kind of feel like across the board, Moon Knight just had potential, and like I said, it had Oscar Isaacs for God's sake. How can you take something that has such a brilliant actor and make it boring and make it completely stupid? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I really would like somebody to explain the plot of the show to me, because I'm struggling to find it. And I refuse to call this Moon Knight, because it is literally Mark Spector and his magical friends are Mark Spector and Steven are the bromance of Mark and Steven. Nowhere in this should it be called Moon Knight, because it is literally, if you time the amount of time Moon Knight has appeared in this show, I think it really was 12 minutes across all 6 episodes.
Are you serious? It might be right.
I mean, he was already there.
Most of the time, he was Moon Knight and beat up monsters off screen. So it was like,
yep.
Was it Moon Knight? Could have
Or
been.
you had Steven with his own version of the prim and proper version of Midnight. Well, to be fair, that wasn't the comics, but I don't know. I feel like that this is a very good character, but it's not being represented, very well in this show. And I think people probably, if you gave them a list of the strongest MCU characters, or even just break it down to MCU TV, like Disney Plus characters, I don't even know if this will make the list, to be honest with you, because we had too much Mark and too much, Steven, and not enough Moon Knight. We had no plot. So there was really no plot. We knew what we needed to do. We needed to stop Emmett from being revived. We needed to stop Harrow, but we didn't do any of that. We didn't stop anything. We did nothing.
So here's a better question. So if they fuck Moon Knight all up, now your expectations more tempered. What next hero would you rather see a show about?
MC, like Marvel?
Makes no difference. Marvel or DC?
I want Angela. I definitely want Angela. But since we already have Thor, Love and Thunder coming out, I guess they're not going to do that anytime soon. I would love to have, even though it would be problematic as hell in this social climate, I would love to have the whole Psylocke, Quanon mind swap.
You are asking for a world
because
of hate mail, cancelization, Twitter wars, all kinds of shit.
I'm asking.
Twitch streams will be blowing up. Reddit will be fighting Reddit like you.
But in my defense, okay, hear me out. In my defense, I didn't write the shit. I'm like, Marvel did it. So you need to go blow up Marvel's ass for doing it, because you're the one that came up with that.
Well, really, no, they might end up doing the same thing they were Jessica Jones and just like allude to what happened, but not directly. But not exactly say what happened or show it, but allude to certain, things. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it would be really hard to allude to Revanche taking over or from Betsy Brent taking over, or Braddock taking over Quanon's body.
the Asian
that would
community
be problematic. So
Asian community be pissed off. A
well, I
lot
mean,
of
it's
them.
really funny because so many people actually got mad when Betsy Braddock got her original body back because they didn't realize that she had was originally white to begin with. They didn't realize that she was not whitewashed characters. They just took a white woman and put it in an Asian person's body, which is also problematic.
You would do that story. Oh my God, there'll be so many upset.
But I mean, I love Kwanin though. I would love to have her story specifically. I think it would be really cool. I could not finish Moon Knight. 2 episodes in and I was done. 2 thumbs down for the show. Just like Naomi, I gave 3.5 episodes and that was one too many and I was done. I mean, I get that. I get it. Ray said, I like the Scarlet Scarab once she powered up. It made sense, and I think her suit was better than Wonder Woman 84 suit, which made no sense to me. Functionality made more sense with Layla. I mean, I'm cool with that. I mean, actually, the color scheme works better for Egypt anyway than what happened with Wonder Woman, so I'm completely okay with that. But at the end of the day, it should not have been about. The show was not about the Scarlet Scarab. It was about Moon Knight, but it wasn't about Moon Knight. Because we never saw Moon Knight. We hardly saw Moon Knight. Moon Knight might as well have been Tuxedo Mask or Tuxedo Common from freaking Sailor Moon. He just shows up, does a tiny little speech, and then goes away. That's literally what he was. I don't understand why this show was as bad as it was, but it was very bad. And I'm very excited for it to be over. Like, honestly, I was extremely excited that we don't have to watch it anymore.
That's the first Marvel show I ever watched where I literally got into my phone and dicked around and not paid attention.
I know, like, I seriously, I fell asleep on the season finale twice. I had to keep going back and watching it again because it was so hard to watch and be engaged. And I never thought I would say that about MCU property. So that's very weird. Like, this is, I'm telling you, this is not even on my list of favorites. If I never watched this again, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Now, Oscar Isaacs is a great actor. And if he does have like a cameo in somebody else's movie or somebody else's show, I would not hate it. But the problem is it would still be Oscar Isaacs. It would not be Moon Knight. It would be, the actor himself.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really play in his favor. So yeah, this was not done well at all. I'm sorry. It was so disorganized. It was, disjointed. The plot, the scenes, all of it was just. I will say they did a good job on parts of the CG because some of that CG was kind of.
Yeah. Well, you say it's kind of cheesy, but there wasn't much of it. So if it keeps coming in, where you're seeing people all day, of course it's going to have that uncanny valley. Like, we haven't seen this often. Yeah. Like, now we got a whole hippo talking to us. What the fuck? All y'all budget with the Spider-Man No Way Home, huh? Now you can't afford to do anything else. Y'all just broke as shit. Tom Holland's expensive, ain't it?
Like, I just know that I remember after episode 5, I Marco Polo. Do you remember? And I was like, I don't know if I can watch episode 6.
And I was like, try.
I want to be a quitter, but
try. I tried. I did it.
I know you did it before I did. You guys watched it. You're like, yeah, I watched it. I'm like, yeah, I still haven't done it. But yeah, I finally begrudgingly started it up and then fell asleep and then fell asleep and then fell. I kept falling asleep on it.
Yeah,
so I've never fallen asleep on a superhero property that was engaging. So that told me right there that it sucks. So again, I got to give props to Oscar Isaac. That he's a standout. Yeah, Ethan was great too as Haro, but I mean, he didn't get as much time with, and plus Oscar was primarily having to talk to his British counterpart, aka himself, a lot. And it did show me the danger of having crap parents, because you will create other identities to protect yourself when your dad is not stopping your mother from beating the hell out of you. I mean, really, if anything, Moon Knight should have been an advertisement on child abuse and post-traumatic stress.
We could do that with a lot of superheroes, though. There's a lot of them that have been.
That's true. But I mean, this one seemed to focus on it a lot. I mean, we went from that. We saw the abuse. We saw them in the mock, in my mind, simulated psychiatric ward. Like, all of this was like basically a pro mental health, cry for help. It was not a superhero show. Don't think that this was a superhero show. It was not.
It really wasn't.
It was not.
It just ended up having somebody get somebody's ass kicked. Because I was like, isn't that fun now? Yeah, we're relax, breathe, decompress. We're past the bad parts. Like, you could have left that shit out.
It was
That could
almost
have been
like a
explained in
big
like
budget
15
student
minutes.
film. That's what it was, a big
One of
budget student film.
those indie films that end on a very like, no, like there's no real denouement. It just like it just ends like, oh, okay. So nobody has a happy ending. It's real life. We're about real life. Make a real fucking movie. All right, stop
I
playing.
mean, seriously, it's almost like they were making two movies in one, like in this
Yeah.
series. So like they were doing, or two series, should I say? So they were making one as like a complete lifetime movie type situation with dealing with trauma and DID, and then the other one's dealing with like, oh, I think we actually need to stop somebody from trying to destroy the world. It's like two different things. Which one had more
You
merit?
know,
I don't know.
you
Do
know,
you
it,
know?
you know,
I
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of oh, stretch my arm out. It reminds me of like some Tiny Toon Adventures thing or whatever. And like going this whole, you're right. Maybe we are just family, you and me. And then I know it comes like, Buster Bunny. I hate to break this all up, but you have a monster up there to go kill.
It's almost like moments if you ever play Kingdom Hearts when you're like they have time to have these moments of talking and basically getting things off their chest, and it's like, but we literally should be fighting right now because we're about to die. That's literally how Moon Knight is for me. But everything is such a time crunch. We gotta stop Haru. But we have about 3 episodes to talk about our past and deal with our shit. That's fine.
The show did the exact same thing. I forgot her name now. That's how much I don't like this show. His wife. The show did the thing his wife did. Layla. Waste time at the wrong moment. And who died this one? The audience. We died.
Yeah, we were dying.
This show killed us. Because this is one of the ones that like come out on DVD or some dumb shit or Blu-ray or MP5 or who knows. It's like the next 6 years, probably next year or so, they have a new digital platform you can own it on. Like you can buy it on get your version of the show on SD the entire season. Like I'm not wasting money on an SD card of all this dumb. No, this is the ones that will not get repurchased. It's going to stay out there. Wouldn't it be neat though? For real, they started releasing like movies and DVDs and box sets check on SD. And you can actually buy like a bizarre little SD drive you can hook up to your TV via a USB port or some shit, and you can actually just.
Well, I mean, actually, if it was SD, you would just put the SD card into the slot that already is in most TVs.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah. Even better. Yeah, you can get that. You get a external thing you put on. If you don't have that thing on your TV.
What I think is really funny, Groove, is that you would rather talk about having future tech put on SD cards.
Man, fuck this show, man.
This is how much we enjoy Moon Knight. He's literally reinventing the wheel over here with SD cards.
I just don't. This is what happens, man. I'm just not.
I know. Well, going into this stream, I knew this was going to be one of the harder streams for us because we are very animated people. We're both Sagittariuses. We live up to that name. And we can talk about anything. But I mean, I was just like, do we really have to go in here and talk about this show? We have to go talk about this show. Yes, we do. I try. And I feel bad because I know there are people out here that love this show.
Why do you feel bad for someone having bad taste? That has nothing to do with
it. No, I like to play devil's advocate. I like people having taste. I'm not going to call it bad taste. It's just different taste. It's just not my taste. If you found something in this that helped you, that made you motivated, that made you want to run around and think that you're Moon Knight, then you know what? More power to you. I guess they did their job. I just can't find it because I'm still trying to find the plot. So I can't find the plot. I've been looking. They're on the adventure to stop, Haru and from reviving Emmett. I'm on an adventure to try and figure out what the hell's going on in the show. So that's literally where I am with Moon Knight. Moon Knight was very uneventful for me in that I don't understand the order of events. I don't understand why most of the events occurred. And I don't understand why it was called Moon Knight.
Well, that's the end of this show, guys. Tune in next week where we talk about slime and gack. What's the difference? And did we use applesauce on an episode of Guts? Stay tuned.
Yeah. Hi, Kevin. How are you? I see, Ray, you've been in here saying a few things. Let me start with the initial thing he said before the stream started. Hopefully, Groove got the whole He-Man, King, Grayskull, muscle shirts going on today. I only highlighted the weak charm. I love the prayer hands.
I have a T-shirt on. I'm not wearing on some kind of.
How you on your
I could he said I just flexed for him one time. Well, it's 2 times now. Look, there you go, flex. You're welcome. There's your
Ray, I need you to stop being
flex for
thirsty.
the day. Yeah. All right, but no, I do not wear a He-Man type outfit. Actually, no, that would be a fun thing to do for like Halloween. It's too cold for that. Like wear the whole He-Man get up with the weird grass fur skirt thing, whatever, and no shirt on with the one little strap across the chest.
You are doing too much. So is the character as powerful in the comics? The actual Moon Knight parts and his abilities in play were the only parts I liked. So he actually doesn't have powers in the comics.
No.
He has Batman tech because Steven is loaded and he started a company called Spectre Corp and they finance all of Moon Knight's endeavors just like Wayne's Industries does for Batman.
Yeah.
So, yep. He's completely different in the comics.
Yeah, in the comics he is not he can't fly around on his own or punch cars over or fight.
Conchu was like, I'm gonna give you a shiny suit.
Yep, that's all it was. A suit that can help you resist, I guess, getting hit by body armor. Or did he buy the body armor?
It gives him a little bit of resilience. Like
that's
but not I mean, it's just like getting body armor. Like it's literally he got a Halo suit.
That's really what it is, but it doesn't give him the ability to fight Heartless or kaijus and shit like that. So that's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
That's only in the TV show they just made and they made it up. They wrote it in crayon and threw it out there.
Because the MCU is always about like making people who don't really have powers have like gadgets, or people that are actually mutants or whatever have assistant gadgets to give them power. But yet here with Moon Knight, they actually gave him powers. So I was like, okay, I got you. I like the Scarlet Scarab. Once she powered up, I think we all read this one. It made sense, and I think her suit was better than Wonder Woman 84's suit, which made no sense to me.
I mean, you know what though? It's not like the suit was bad, but it did have Wonder Woman vibes to it. So I mean, but it wasn't a bad outfit. I mean, I guess I don't know why she had wings, but
especially since it's not like she's the avatar of an animal that doesn't have wings.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like why can you fly? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Be able to like roll over in water a lot, but whatever.
She's like super strong and super strong. She can swim and hold her breath for really long.
You can't drown me, motherfuckers. I can roll. I feel like Naomi, or I feel like Roswell did that kind of story better. I would have rather an Animorphs reboot more than Naomi. Oh yeah, I do feel bad.
That was some shade. That was some shade.
I mean, and Naomi is another show that is a slow burn and focused way too much on her love life, which made no sense whatsoever. Let's see. Hey, but I did say Hara was the avatar at the beginning, and I got that. Look, I am once more vindicated. I'm proud of you. I love that you were keeping your own scorecard. Yeah, because we don't remember anything.
I mean,
let's see. I do like the powers, and do not see Batman taking the guy without advanced planning after being introduced to him through this property. Oh, Batman would beat the living shit out of Moon Knight. I will say this. He would be down.
And it's for this channel because we do not defend Batman heavily here at Approach the Nerd because he has enough fanboys to do that for him. But I will say this about all that: Batman can squat a ton and he can bench half a ton. Moon Knight, Mark Spector is nowhere near that strong at all. Batman is stronger. Damn near than Captain America as when they make him in the comics. I swear to God, on his own.
You know my feelings on MCU Captain America.
Yeah.
You already know. Can't stand his ass. I'm sorry.
Like Batman is somebody you met in real life. Batman in real life would be an everyday superhero just by walking to the grocery store. There's no way you could see this like 6'5" man with all that damn muscle buying a Coke. It's like you wouldn't think like this man may stop a crime if it started.
I know. I think John Cena goes in there and gets Pepsi. He's like, give me a Coke. Give me some Coke. Have you seen the new He-Man on Netflix? Either one, both great, but very different. I love the current He-Man and She-Ra series, to be honest. Now, disclaimer, Groove, do not get on a tangent about the He-Man series because I already know you had issues with it, especially with Tila, and so I'm going to tell you guys. You guys like to put me in a position when I already have a sore throat, and I got to talk about Charmed at 8:30. Well, I'm not gonna have a voice later on.
Didn't I review this? Didn't I give an entire review of this
Yes,
show?
there is. There actually is. I think you did it for the channel, didn't you? Did you do?
I did. I did
You
an
talked
entire
about it live.
review of
Yeah.
season 1, and I have
Yeah.
not watched season 2 because season 1 was just weird. And the crazy part about it is, like, I didn't entirely hate the show. I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if you with Kevin Smith, you should have told the truth with the show, who the show was about, what was going on. I went to a thing is about He-Man. It's not about He-Man. It's about Tila. So it's like there was no. You could just kept it 100. Why'd you lie? And then to do the whole taking them out of Eternia. I don't know, man. It's just.
I like.
I don't lie, and don't hype up something that isn't. You know what I mean? And like.
I didn't mind She-Ra. I thought She-Ra was cool, and I like.
She-Ra was pretty good. I haven't finished She-Ra at all. I've not finished.
I did. People are in their feelings because they had a Kurosama moment with Adora and Catra.
Who cares if women are fucking?
My problem with that is because you got the people that are saying that they look at things once again through a homonormative scope, and they're just like, oh, there's no way that they could be attracted to each other. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Did you watch Naruto? People that literally shook hands one time have kids. I mean, and people completely accept this shit. It's like, hey, hold my hand. Shit. You and my baby's mama. I'm like, I don't want to hear that.
You're like Naruto wouldn't bang Sasuke. Stop that lie. Get serious. Get serious. That was the most hateful bromance of any anime series I've ever seen. Yep. Like even more than on Guts. Like that shit was ridiculous. Like
if I will tell you this, if it had not been for Japan and there's not being a yaoi, Sasuke and Naruto would have been together. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
That should have been an obvious. If it was done with anybody that was like, you know what, I see it. You'd had one episode of Naruto Shippuden where Naruto would have woke up scratching his stomach or whatever, and you saw Sasuke roll over in the same bed, like, Naruto, where are you going? I'm just going out to get some moonlight, get some air. Okay, we'll come back soon. It's cold without you. And it turned over. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm telling you, it's just like the whole thing with Adora and Catra, and they're like, it doesn't even seem like they just put them together randomly for the gay agenda. And I'm like, as a queer person, I'm like, were we watching the same show? Catra was obsessed with Adora because Adora left and she was all she had, and so that whole thing was crazy to me.
Yeah, I love the gay agenda shit, and I say
that's everybody's favorite term. It's an agenda, like LGBTQ plus haven't been around for eons. Like we just all of a sudden got made up as an agenda, like a phase.
I mean, not even that. I mean, if it was that easy for everybody to turn to one side or the other, everybody would turn one side or the other. But even beyond that, it's like you say that as if that show was made for children. It wasn't. It's made for those who remember from back in the day. That's one. And two, like, okay, why are you so upset of a fictional character having sex with a fictional character? Oh, no, but they're not really fucking. You don't see that on screen. Why are you upset about a fictional character falling in love with a fictional character? You're speaking about it as if you had a chance with She-Ra. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why do you care who she falls in love with? You never had a chance because it's imaginary. It's like I don't. You know what I mean? I sometimes feel like people still need guys to worship because we really do worship some characters sometimes in ways like entertained by them, that's fine. Inspired by them, sure. Y'all really got to stop with this whole, you try to push a point. About what? Telling a story? I could make She-Ra fall in love with a tree, asshole. It has nothing to do with anything. Like, the plot's still the plot. Pay attention. You're not listening. You're not... Like, follow along. I don't like when neckbeards get into that kind of shit. It's like, dude, okay, look.
I agree with what you said, Kevin. I do. I also wish you had more. Catra had more of a redemption arc. But you see, that's a trope for a lot of characters in these, Motherland Fort Salem. I feel like they just don't get, because they're queer. They don't have the same rules. As long as you are a cute queer couple, and it's coming from a queer person. Sometimes you can get away with whatever the hell you want because you're a novelty. So that's what it is. Like, that's what it is. Do I agree with that? No, I think everybody should be have to earn their shit, but it's just what it is. But yeah, I think it's funny. I just think the whole agenda thing. Every time I do a stream and there's like if there's any LGBTQ plus anything, people are like, "Oh my god, why do I have to add so many gay people? Every episode, every movie, they have to have somebody gay." Because that's real life.
That's real life. That's real. You don't
can be gay.
It's like you who commented on this thread with all this frustration, you yourself might be somewhere on the, the scale of gay or bisexual. You don't even know
Yep.
it. You ever
Yep.
thought about it? Here's a good test. Go watch some new kind of pornography. See what you get excited over. They come back to you.
Okay,
You never know. You never know.
guys,
You never know.
this is not going to be a long stream, guys. Again, because I need to conserve my voice for charm because I'm losing my voice. I've had to do a bunch of auditions this morning. Had a 3-hour stream last night, and my house, the humidity level in my house is trying to crush my lungs, so I literally cannot breathe in this house. Case in point, if you see smoke, I'm not having a good time. It's a humidifier. And then I have a fan. Literally have a fan blowing on me because I need to circulate the air. It is so dry in this house. But I'm going to say now, on the timeline, I'm going to have to go back and look at it. We are ending the discussion for Moon Knight right now, even though we've kind of drifted off anyway, because there really wasn't a lot for us to say other than that we both did not like the show. And we're still trying to figure out what the show was actually about because apparently it really was not about Moon Knight. So I want to rename the show to Mark Spector and His Magical Friends. The Adventures of Mark and Steven.
Very 1970s. Mark Spector and his amazing friends.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. It was not Moon Knight. And a little Pacific, the Pacific Rim moment we got with the kaiju between him and our deity that should not have been. I felt like they went in a completely different direction. It was like, I love Godzilla movies. Let's put this scene in there. I'm like, dude, are you just nerding out because you're dumb? I don't understand what's happening in this movie.
They wish have a flying macaroni ship. Oh, it'll shoot like yogurt. Why would it shoot yogurt? Because I love yogurt. Like, okay.
Ray Leyland is a temporary avatar. She made it very clear that she did not want to be a permanent avatar. So that
means she's the avatar of
She's probably gonna be the avatar.
That means
probably. But yeah, overall, did not like Moon Knight. Could care less if it got a season 2. Probably the worst MCU show that we've seen on Disney Plus to date. So that is problematic because whether you like some of the other shows or not, at least they were engaging on some level. This didn't even engage me, so it's just what it is.
It wasn't any good.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, this is the one time I wish they had stuck more to the source material, but that's just me. All right. I know Ray's like, I need to ask another question about this show. Ray, you're beating a dead horse. Amulet is a good guy now. How does that work? Where was Anubis and Osiris? Anubis and Osiris were partying. They were living their best life. They didn't give 5 shits about what was happening because, like us, they did not want to watch Moon Knight either. And
they retired like God did in Lucifer. Like, oh, I'm retired, and it's left to see.
They're like, peace, deuces. They left everything kind of open ended. The only thing that they establishes is that Mark is an idiot because he didn't know about Jake, which makes no sense. So. So much in the show is just not worth talking about. So, yeah.
Okay, right. I will say this: you don't have to apologize for that, Ray. Is it me? My brother and I had an odd argument, Maria, about Neo Queen Serenity versus Goku, who would win. Sorry, Groove.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop. So 52 minutes and 50. Well, we'll say 53 minutes is when we stopped officially talking about Moon Knight.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about it after this point at all. We're done with Moon Knight.
Yeah, no more Moon Knight. But you and your brother had an argument about Neo Queen Serenity versus Goku, who would win. Sorry, Groove. You have to apologize for that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Neo Queen Serenity. No, I'm serious. Because I know you think I'm gonna argue like, well, no, because Goku this or people talking about fighting, whatever else. Forever, you and your brother having an argument is kind of a waste of time anyway. But like Neo Queen Serenity is playing on what's what I'm looking for. Omnipotence on that level. Goku's not an omnipotent character, not yet anyway. So like when we're talking about those two winning, it's the only way Goku even begin winning fights is whoever's writing it was like Goku came up and sucker punched her and knocked her ass out, and I doubt that would happen anyway. Omnipotent characters don't play on the same playing field as just powerful people.
Well, plus even if he knocked her out, if the Jinzu show is still in her chest, it would still.
Yeah, like
we've seen it react, like without her being conscious.
A better argument would be like Neo Queen Serenity versus like Zeno. That's a different argument. Like,
so why don't we just say this? Okay, let's just be real. This is how you solve this. Neo Queen Serenity is not going to beat Goku. The Jinzusho, or the silver crystal inside of her, is going to beat Goku because it will reinvent his ass. I'm
Yeah,
like, because really that crystal is like Scarlet Witch. It will reality bend him into
yeah.
another. He won't even be in his own series anymore. His anime
Yeah,
will be
it's
over.
you would need a character that is. I mean, when the people pick up the pen and they write Goku's character like they do Superman half the time, they just give him more and more power. Like, don't get me wrong, Goku's power as of right now in the manga is obscene. He's definitely god level strong, but he's not. There's a difference between being strong. Like for example, like the Norse gods and the gods of Greek mythology are not omnipotent characters. They're just powerful and have their own skills and skill sets. Omnipotence is a whole of the ball game. Omnipotence is like, I think I said it before. You use the power of Tuesday to defeat somebody Wednesday on Thursday with a fish of Friday. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to make any sense. They can just do what they feel like. Omnipotence comes into play, whereas it's real to how your imagination works to what will happen to the other person. So like when like he is like it just like Goku, when Goku's not God Destruction, Goku is on the angel path. Vegeta's on the God Destruction path. Vegeta has God Destruction powers. Goku has Whis type powers right now. So like, which puts him a little bit higher than Vegeta, but that's still a thing we don't know yet. So like, and that's in the manga, not the anime. It's just way further along. So like when we're talking about their strengths and skills, like Vegeta right now can knock the power out of you. Goku can absorb the energy, whatever. Goku became a kaiju himself in the last arc. I'm not making that up. He turned to a big spiritual Goku with himself as a Goku in the center of his own forehead, like a crystal, to fight a world eater. Like it's ridiculous what they're doing with the series. It's like it's going over the top to show Goku's like the strongest thing ever. But Goku can't beat Zeno because Zeno can do this, and his entire universe himself is gone, and Goku can't resist that because that's erasure. So to say Goku can fight anybody on the level of omnipotence is ridiculous and foolish. I think your brother will argue with you because he thinks Sailor Moon is for girls, and he just saw it as a weaker thing. But like Neo Queen Serenity is an omnipotent reality bending character. Like that's different, and that's not even on Scarlet Witch is not omnipotent either. Like she can bend realities, but there's a limit. Neo Queen Serenity doesn't have a limit at all. It's just like whatever she feels like doing at the time period. That's playing God at that point. So like,
Well, like, and I will say her mother, Neo Queen Serenity's mother, Silver Millennium, Queen Serenity, probably was the more badass of the Serenities. I mean, there've been a long lines of Serenities. Let me just put this in perspective. Any woman that can impregnate herself, because let's be clear, like we don't know who Serenity's daddy is or any of the Serenity's daddies are. We know what happens when there is a father. Your daughter comes out an albino with red eyes and pink hair. But the other ones, I mean, they were like, I want a child. So the crystal will just make one appear in my body, and then I will give birth, and it will look exactly like me, and it will be my clone, and it will carry on the tradition. It was only when Usagi's reincarnated, based on, Serenity's reincarnated as Usagi, and she meets the reincarnation of Endymion, that they have this really odd-looking child that looks nothing like her predecessors. So,
but you know what? We don't talk about Bruno.
I don't know what happened. I'm looking at Darian. I'm like, you have, or Mamoru. He's like, you have black hair and bluish eyes, and Sagi has blonde hair and bluish eyes. How the hell does that make a pink-haired child with red eyes? What are we missing right here? I don't understand what happened like, for this to occur, because genetics are not playing right with me in this regard. So I've never understood why small lady looks like that, but
as a matter of fact, I see down Kevin May said some Death Battle. I do not watch Death Battle. I stopped watching Death Battle after the Goku vs Superman one because it was predictable what they're going to pick. I'm gonna tell you about Death Battle and what they always do, and they do this every time. Death Battle, the people who run that little part of Screw Attack, they are a big fan of old school Western comics and cartoons. So, and not video games, Western comics and cartoons, and video games from like Nintendo era. So if the character is from that time, let's say from 1972 to about 1994, if they're from that time period and they're Western based, they will win every time. I don't care what happens. Even if you come up with all the evidence saying otherwise. I remember the Goku vs Superman one made me so angry back in it was years ago. It pissed me off so bad. I knew it didn't make any sense. And people brought the math against why it wouldn't work, why Superman wouldn't win that fight. And they were like, well, we did all that, but we came back with numbers and did this and this. No, you didn't. So if you really want like somebody to debate the actuality of who will win in a fight, don't watch Death Battle. And I'm saying that right here on this channel. Don't watch Death Battle because you're not gonna get what you're looking for out of that. you need to ask somebody for one who knows a little bit about combat science, just a little bit, and then you also need to think about it like objectively. Find someone who actually like find somebody who knows all that about that one character, someone who knows about the other character. Like find people who are really big nerds in both like genres. They come to a conclusion. I mean, reality wise, if you can get creative, Superman can lose to Batman. Hell, they said Superman could be Goku, but I've seen one woman kick the shit out of Superman several times on hand-to-hand combat. So like, and she's not as strong as he is. So like, it's not always even about the strength levels. It's always about the skill. It's a lot. It's a lot of dumb stuff.
But at the end of the day, we all know that it's basically who you like.
That's the whole thing. Every
So,
time. It's fandom.
I know
like,
you have never been a Superman supporter. You don't like the character. So
I hate the way
it doesn't matter
Oh
who
my
Superman
God.
goes up against. You're gonna be pissed off if he wins. That's just what it is.
That's not true. That's not true. Because I've said this before on this channel. Superman will kick the shit out of Batman easily, hands down.
I mean,
And I'm honestly,
I've said on this channel, everybody will kick the shit out of Batman. The
Yeah,
only
but
people
it's-
that he
and
has plot armor because people like, oh,
see-
Batman's so
but see,
cool.
I say
I'm
that,
like, nah, I can't have it.
but I enjoy Batman animated movies and comics way more like Superman shit. Like I do. I'm a far bigger supporter of Batman and Superman. But I'm not gonna sit there and say
See,
like, oh,
this is the thing that I have a problem with Batman, and this is not. I am not a Superman or Batman fangirl. I like everybody equally. I don't like giving accolades to somebody who's a bat. He's a bat.
yeah.
He's Batman. Batman is the real identity, and Bruce. No, he's a fucking bat.
Basically,
He needs to be alongside Mark in the therapy chair because he never went to therapy.
He
and
definitely
he
needs to go to
lost
Arkham.
his
He
mind.
definitely needs to go to Arkham and talk to somebody. That's
So when people are like Bruce, I'm like, you guys don't realize that Bruce Wayne is actually effing crazy. I'm like, I don't know why you don't get this.
Batman
This
should have
man is
been
crazy.
He should have been a vampire. Batman and Blade should be on the same team. I'm not kidding, because like
Yeah.
that would have made so much more sense.
It
Instead
really
of making
would.
this
Only
dude-
Blade probably would be that. But like, I feel like
Blade will
Batman-
beat the shit. No, they had a comic before Blade versus Batman, and Batman won. I remember that. Batman beat
Of
Blade.
course he would, because
Batman
why?
beat-
Because I'm telling you, he has plot armor.
Batman beat Blade. Batman beat Zorro. Batman beat Predator. Like,
But
what
let me
the
tell
hell?
you, you know what? You know what? I will tell you this with 100% clarity. If I was an evil person and I wanted Batman dead, Batman will be dead. Because unlike the people in the comics that aren't trying to hurt him, because they are not trying to hurt him. I would not have that. I would not have that handicap. Like, so he would be dead. I mean, that goes for a lot of characters. I'm like, I'm not gonna be like, I'm going to go and make a serum and sneak it in your drink. No, I'm not gonna waste time with that shit. I'm gonna do old
Actually,
style.
what they should do, I want to see Batman versus Kingpin. Will Batman be able to defeat Kingpin for Kingpin got Batman shot and killed? Because he'd have found out he was Bruce Wayne real quick.
He would
That took
whoop
no
his shit.
time at all.
Look what Bane did. This is what always racks my brain, guys. It's what I don't understand. So you're telling me that Batman can beat all of these superpowered people in the Justice League with contingency plans, and then Bane comes over here and like literally breaks his back like a damn wishbone. Snap! Like, where was your contingency plan for that?
No. Batman
I
should
don't
be
understand.
Batman should be a Time Lord. That'd be dope. So like he dies a lot. He just regenerates. You just don't know.
No, we already got a new Doctor Who, and he is black, and people are not happy about it.
I mean, I don't even care anymore. Like, cause like this most recent thing they did with the series retconning the Doctor altogether, it just pissed me off. So like,
But you still gotta watch it. We gotta see what it's about. So
I mean, I may watch an
gonna watch
episode.
it.
I may watch an episode, but I can't give you no.
I know your wife's gonna watch it. So you're gonna have to watch it because she's gonna be in front of the TV.
I don't like the timeless child thing at all. No,
You don't have to like the timeless
Oh.
child. You just have to watch the new series and see what happens. I'm curious. I know that people are coming to me like, how does he go back in time? You know, back into like he's black.
Here's the big question.
And I'm like,
he's Rogue Jesus. What difference does it make? He can't die anyways. What's the
well, I think what's
What's the
interesting
worry?
is that people also need to understand that this is a British character and they don't have the same history. They have racism, but they don't have the same extreme shit we have with civil rights
Remember,
movement
the
in
Doctor
States.
was
So-
only shown going to the America antebellum South one time.
And
That was
a
the
Rosa
recent
Parks
Doctor,
episode, yeah.
Rosa Parks. Other than that, no, the Doctor usually does avoid that because
Yep.
no matter he could have went there antebellum South with that British accent, they would still treat him like shit. It wouldn't
Yeah.
change anything. So like,
But I did find a TikTok that your wife sent me where the woman was like, "Oh, I want to go to the Renaissance era," and he's like, "Oh no, you
Yeah.
need to like taper your expectations.
Expectations.
You're
I
not
saw
going
that.
anywhere that is later than 1980."
I saw this. I can't remember. I can't remember the TikToker's name. I can't remember. She's like Black Latina,
He's like,
but
and
like
when you get in
she's
the
funny.
TARDIS, don't touch nothing, don't
Nothing.
look
Don't
at
look
nothing,
nothing.
don't breathe
Don't take nothing. Don't touch nothing. Don't look at nothing. Don't breathe on nothing. That was funny as shit. I was like, I watched. I was like, yo, if they do that in episode 1, I will watch that entire season. No end. I'm like, no, I'm here to watch the Doctor be this British accent Black American dad. No, Black American dad behaving like a Black American mom with a British accent. That is the funniest damn thing I have ever seen.
He'd look in the mirror and like, I am so far from. Well, the irony would be is if they frost his hair ginger. I would die. I would die.
If they frost his hair ginger, the show's
Ginger.
over. That's the last season.
Like
We'll
he
never
finally
do it
got that
again.
ginger hair. Yeah.
He's like, I'm finally ginger. This is the last season, guys. Buckle in. About to the end. About to the last episode. The Doctor's probably going right off into the sunset somewhere. And like, well,
But, I'm in my feelings though because they
Okay,
act like he's the first Black Doctor Who, but actually the first Black Doctor Who was a female. We already saw her. She's a future reincarnation or incarnation of Doctor.
we don't. Is she a future or is she from the past?
Well, that's kind of.
I know.
It's kind of interesting.
Yep.
I kind of feel like both at this point.
Mm-hmm. I came up with a really interesting convoluted way they can explain that story and take that timeless child bullshit out of it. But you know what? They're not going to do what I say to do. They're not going to do anything I say to do. I'm hoping they do some multiverse shit and then jump in. Maybe Axel Asher from the Marvel DC crossover, Access. He can come in and pull the Doctor Hair's like, you're in the wrong universe. You should be here. How is that possible? I'll show you. He opens the doorway and shit. All Kingdom Hearts style. I don't know. I don't. The timeless child thing makes my blood boil. I hate that. I hate it so much. I hate it. 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 I hate it.
I have not watched the latest season.
I haven't at all. I haven't even. The last episode I watched was the Prisoner or something when she was on the Dalek ship. Prisoner is the last episode I saw, and I was like, this wasn't even all that fun to watch. I mean, I like watching Captain Jack be there, but I mean, like, this ain't for me. It's no longer my show anymore, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, with Grant and him. I forgot.
Hey, we're thinking about Letha. Yeah. I mean, it was fun before, but you were gone. So, we're out of here. Yeah. So I sit there. Come on, Grant. Like,
You're like, I'm trying to translate exactly what's happening in this show, and I don't understand. But now I get it. Like I said, there were a lot of people that were not happy with the Timeless Child. Some people weren't happy because of Jodie Whittaker in general being female, and that's kind of bullshit. But it is what it is. So
if your argument is that Jodie Whittaker is a woman, for one, she can't help it, and two, the Doctor has made jokes before. I can have two heads or no head. I could be a dog. Or I could come back as a dragon. Who knows? And y'all giggled and laughed and hee and ha ha and shit. Why would you think he couldn't be a woman? So that's the part that doesn't bother me. The gender bending shit, like it's not even a human. Doc's not a human. Why are you mad about a non-human character being something else? I just fucking blows my mind. Who cares? My problem is when you retconning a story is one thing. People retcon story all the fucking time. Doctor Who retcons his own story continuously. I mean, if you're going from
plot holes upon plot holes.
Oh my god! If you go from the classic Who to the novelizations to the Big Finish audio dramas to the fucking movie, even about his mom being from Earth, maybe that dumb shit, to him. Oh my god! Like even the Time War, in a sense, been retconned. Like I think twice during the New Who's tenure. That shit doesn't bother me because you can reconvolute that with some wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit and it's fine. I don't care. You can try to make it make sense. When you retcon a character that has been consistent since 1963, don't fuck with me. That makes me angry. That I don't like. Don't change the character on the essential base of the character they are. That I can't do that. Even Mortal Kombat has better fucking sense than that. Mortal Kombat's been retconned from Age Games since Mortal Kombat 3. But they don't change the character. They're still the same. Even when they make them evil for a spell, they give a reason from the last game why they're evil. And they go back to, but they don't have to be, and this and this. But no matter what, the characters, their moves, their traits, their personality, where they come from, what their origins are still the fucking same. Don't change that. Don't. Unless you're multiversing it, don't change it. That makes me mad. That pisses me off
Well, what
more
if
than
they say
anything.
that this is a multiverse then, and that is a
We
different
already
universe?
know it's a multiverse because we've been to another universe before. We do universe, another one was
So
twice as big
then,
as theory.
but then wouldn't that make it acceptable for you because you just said that if it's a
If
multiverse, then it's fine.
if they come back and say that this doctor, like let's say when Peter Capaldi regenerated, he was like he didn't regenerate that way, and the doctor we have now is from the universe that we're from. She's in the wrong universe. Like that's why her TARDIS dropped her because it was lost and scared, for example. I can accept that. That's different because then we know, like, oh, that's why they have this whole timeless child thing. That's not really their doctor. Like that's a whole other character altogether. That's why they don't know who each other are. That's different. That'd actually kind of cool. I'm down with that. That's a way to fix the fucking plot line, the storyline and stuff. So we're actually in a universe where that's called the Ruth Doctor is an actual whole nother doctor that may actually be dead in that timeline by the time this
So,
doctor got there.
so basically, that should just be Doctor What instead of Doctor Who,
Doctor Y.
and then
Instead of
this
being
one,
Doctor Y, you know,
this new doctor should just call himself Doctor Nope, Doctor
Doctor
Nope.
Doctor No. Dun, 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 dun,
Just like the
dun,
movie
dun.
I want to see, the scary alien invasion movie. Nope. That's like,
But you know
I
what
want
though?
this doctor. I want this doctor to be cool. Like he just comes up in places and he sees people and gets back in time. Like nope.
Honestly
Wrong
though,
location.
honestly, if what you said actually happens in the story, I'll be happier than pig and shit. I will watch the season I didn't watch and catch back up. Because then it's like, oh, and it makes perfect sense now. So I did think of something like that before because they say David Tennant's going to come back in the show, which means they're doing the multiverse thing. They're probably going to bring that David Tennant from the timeline there. They actually might use a Time Lord Victoria storyline from the comics where he became an evil Time Lord and took over. Sorry, spoiler alert, whatever. But like they might bring all that together over, and then like the Ruth Doctor, the Time Lord of that actual like that timeline, and realize that that's why they didn't bring any other other characters from Doctor Who besides Captain Jack into this because Captain Jack was here and there, but he was constant in that one multiverse. He could have been the constant in both of them. You don't know how the storyline went. Oh, okay. Or Captain Jack was also lost in space. If in this other
He
universe
just
didn't know
lost
it.
his face.
Who knows, right? They can make up anything at all. So like
Yeah.
that would be amazing. That'll be dope. Then it'd be like, oh, okay. So the doctor's actually in the wrong universe the whole time. Come back to our universe, doctor, where you belong. Okay, I get it now. You had a point. That's why the master is alive and all angry again for no reason in this universe because he never died like he did before. Okay. I follow. Now it makes sense. But as of right now, it doesn't make sense. They entirely threw away like the entire history of the show doing that, and it's like, okay, sure. It's whatever, I guess. They got Joe Grant, I think, an episode coming up or some shit. And I'm just
Oh, do
like,
they?
yeah, I saw some of the promos for her last episode. Joe Grant and no, not Joe Grant. I'm lying. Ace. Ace is in it, and someone else. It was Ace, another companion from from years ago. Man, I cannot remember. Another one of his companions from like I think the seventh or sixth reincarnation. And then of course, Chris Eccleston's coming back to the show too.
Well, I'm just looking around at like entertainment news because I actually like doing that when you're talking about Doctor Who. It gives me time. Like, but I'm a I'm a Doctor Who fan. My mother used to watch that show because she's British. So Tom Baker was my doctor. But I just noticed they just announced that Dan Stevens is going to be starring in Legendary's new Godzilla versus Kong sequel. So they're making a sequel. And I thought after they beat Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla and Kong had like a little truce. And so now I don't know what's going to happen to mess all that up, or if we're going to get, God knows, Mothra's going to come. I don't know what's going to happen, but looks like we are getting another one. So Godzilla versus Kong 2. I don't know. I love.
Do we really need a round two?
I love the Titans, but I'm kind of like, why? Did it just make so much money? You just have to have them fucking fight again. What is this versus? Why can't they just have like the individual story? I don't know. That's weird. I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
That's an interesting one right there. Latino Lafune just asked. He said, "I would like to see the Doctor versus Brainiac." I don't know who will win that. I think the Doctor will probably win. Doctor will win because he has time to like overcome. Because the Doctor's fought characters like Brainiac before, so like that's not unknown for the Doctor to come across characters that are mass intelligences that overtake machines and people. And I mean, hell, the Daleks themselves and the Cybermen are basically Brainiac control. So I mean, it's not his first time coming across that kind of thing, and he beats them every time because he's smarter. And them taking him out by his intelligence is like damn near impossible because he's so damn smart, or she's so damn smart. I'll say they so damn smart. So like it just no, I don't think Brainiac will win. I think Brainiac would try and then like get really like I'm in this, I got all this. Like he'd be Brainiac be this close to winning. I know what the Doctor's like. Oh, I'm sorry, something you said about the rules. Like, oh Lord, here we go. He has this grandiose speech and he just talks and prances about on the stage or whatever, like he does and shit, like MC Hammer style. And then everything falls apart.
Well, now, Ray, Mecha Godzilla might as well be considered a Megazord. They're just not any Power Rangers in them. Just saying. I can't stand Tony and the Accords Maria. I am a super fan, but how could you not like MCU Steve Rogers? He is so dope.
Oh, I'm stepping out of this one. You're on your own. Ooh, Ray, that box worm, she was open. Ooh, shit.
So let me disclaimer that I am also not a super fan of Iron Man either. I feel that Tony can be a dick as well and our jackass, but the hypocrite,
and a jackass.
Let's talk about the hypocrite statement. You want to talk about somebody who will go to war? I can call Jam in here, your wife in here, and
I'm not part of this one. Oh no!
I dislike characters who basically remind me of a scene that happened in the comics with Batman, where Batman, where Batman was basically giving people some shade over not taking care of villains in their city when he lets a damn clown run around and do whatever the hell he wants a majority of the damn time. Captain America, for me, has all these values, and he'd be the one that jumps on the bomb. And he's always the one that you can count on because he's the stand-up guy, unless you're trying to put his boy Bucky in jail, and then all bets are fucking off. Captain America tells everybody, hey, you don't have to sign anything because you have free speech or free rights or whatever. But then he abandons everybody to go help Bucky. And at the end of Endgame, because let's be clear, none of these things, nothing has been resolved from Civil War. He decided to go live his damn best life with Peggy and leave all the people that were on his team because, it's Steve, to deal with all the shit in the future, including Sharon, who was our spoiler power broker, who literally was made enemy of the damn state. Why didn't Steve get her name cleared for helping them get their tech back? Instead of having her have to go off to a whole other damn country because she couldn't stay in her own damn country, essentially ruining her entire damn life and making her into a pseudo villain. Don't get me started on Steven Rogers. I have a list. You want to know what I don't like about Steven Rogers? Go watch my very early video of this channel about Captain America being a Mary Sue, because he is. And so that is my statement. I'm sticking by it. You guys can like Steve Rogers. Your girl does not. You ain't gonna make me like him. Moving on.
Oh, that was pretty short. I thought she was about to go into the whole
20-minute spiel that time. You don't understand. I have a charm review at 8:30.
Okay.
I can't lose my voice. I can't.
I'm like, because I was like,
already, I am struggling. I am struggling.
All right. You can watch her video on that in the channel. It's in there in the history. But if you actually got her at any other time, I guess, she had to explain to you why she does it.
Oh, I got it. Trust me, I got it.
It's a list. It's pretty exhaustive. Not to why you're like, you know what, fine. I'm wrong. Even if you still feel in your mind like, no, because I love me some Captain America. No, it's don't. She has all kinds of receipts.
This is an argument that I got into with Blur Without Fear a long time ago when he was like, because he is a Cap supporter and I don't give five.
He would be.
About damn Captain America.
He would be. So
like, whatever. I don't care. It is what it is. I do not like hypocrites. I don't want you being the moral compass for people, but yet you do opposite of what you think everybody else should be doing. I don't like that shit. So yeah, I'm not a Cap fan. Just not. But again, this is not me saying pro Tony. That wasn't it. I will say though, the whole Civil War thing when they were like telling Tony, "You kept Scarlet Witch hostage." I want Tony to keep me hostage in a $1 million penthouse with round the clock room service.
Oh no,
round I pay any damn bills.
Oh no, I can't. I can't get out. Oh my god, I miss my family.
And look, the reason the bitch couldn't get out of the damn penthouse is because she accidentally killed people in a damn apartment building, and they wanted to put her in jail, and the people were out for blood. So really, he was hiding you. He wasn't keeping you prisoner. You know that like I said, that was just really shitty writing.
He was saving you in luxury, and you had.
But you know, it's all right. It's all right. Whether you like Tony, whether you don't, again, I don't care. I'm not on that train either. It doesn't bother me.
Let my accurate powers get out of control and I kill some people. And then my rich ass benefactor friend who thinks I'm attractive wants to keep me in a fucking mansion.
People don't watch things in entirety. They don't watch plots. Like literally when they were telling, the United Nations was even saying, hey, we want to put Scarlet Witch in some kind of powered, dampening cuffs and throw her in jail. And he's like, no, let me take care of her. I'll just keep her in my very expensive penthouse with around the clock room service and vision. And they're like, oh my God, how could you do that to Wanda? I'm like, you people lost your damn mind. And I'm like, lost your damn mind. If I was Tony, I've been like, you can go get her. not my problem.
That's the whole, oh no.
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Oh my God. I don't want to be stuck here. Where's that double-headed shower? That way? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, please don't leave me here against my will.
That's how I would have been. Look, if I owned a Avenger shower, I would have been like this. They would have been coming in. So your girl accidentally killed some people. And I'm like, and that's between you and the girl. I'm like, because I'm about to go this way. You handle this. You talk amongst yourselves and work out how you fixing that, because I'm not doing it.
That's the whole crying pillow. I'll never be happy again. Like, oh yes, Jarvis, can I have a baby rabbit risotto with a cherry sauce reduction?
Seriously,
thank you,
please torture me in that way. Torture me.
And fruit sandwiches for dessert. Oh, you're such a peach. I miss the real world where everyone hated me. Like, that's not a thing.
If only I could do something to make me have to be tortured in this $1 million penthouse.
This is so bad. It's like being quarantined in the best place ever.
I went to the bathroom and there was a jet spa. What is wrong with these sick bastards?
I'm so tired of these back rubs from these strong arm masseuses. Yes, just a little down the back. Yeah, what? No, nobody's complaining about that. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And I drop something on the ground and it automatically somebody cleans it up.
Like, it's amazing.
What is happening? Like, what kind of world is this?
This place of magic and wonder where I drop things places and I come back and it's clean. Like, what?
Like I said,
who would have thought, right?
It's just bullshit.
Everything fits me so well, and in this case, all my bras and panties match. What?
I'm gonna be like completely transparent on top of being transparent. I never gave a shit about the Avengers in the comics. I like the Young Avengers, but I never gave a shit about the Avengers in the comics. I didn't give a shit about them in the MCU. So it was something to watch. They had a bunch of characters that were connected together. That's basically it. I could care less. There are many characters in the Marvel Universe that are light years better. More interesting.
In the Marvel comics, the Avengers constantly got their asses whipped. It was the X-Men is the ones who always saved everyone. It was like the Avengers came. Sorry, it was the Fantastic Four would try, and it'd be too hard for them, or they had to regroup because Reed had to find a plan. And he would call the Avengers, and they would go do their thing and try their damnedest. All like 5 to 15 of them. And for some reason, that bigger group would still lose. A few of them were still doing pretty good, but none of them defeat the main bad guy. So then Reed would get a hold of always getting a hold of Doctor Strange. He's always like, let me talk to Professor X. And then he's like, I'll talk to my students. All right, you 15-year-olds, go out there and whip ass. And they go out there with Wolverine in the lead and shit for some reason. Wolverine. Probably because if Wolverine gets slapped down, it's like, oh, he's too strong. We already know. They got their ass kicked so many times already. And like all 150 fucking Pokemon, X-Men go out there with all their special names and powers and kick the dog shot at anything that comes up. And then then MCU was like, what if they could do without the X-Men? What if?
Well, let's see. We can use Alpha Flight, like one of the million other fucking teams we got out there. They were a hell of a lot more interesting to me.
Most of those mutants, there's a good handful of mutants that can unmake this planet by themselves. Right? It's weird we don't bring them in the conversation enough. Like, there's some mutants in the X-Men that would whip the shit out of some of the strongest characters in the DC universe. Like, there's some characters that would definitely kill Hulk. Like, it's ridiculous how many mutants there are that are like, how do you exist on this planet with regular people? That ain't making any sense to me. For Gambit could turn the planet into a star. That's insane. That is insane. Think about how mind blowing. That is so many mega joules of power. Oh my god. So like, no, Gambit could definitely easily refuel the flux capacitor. That's for damn sure. There's no other way. Nah.
Ray just asked an interesting question. So why doesn't Rogue never demonstrate the invulnerability of Captain Marvel, just her strength powers? But she has though. Like they've actually hit her with things that did not phase her. Like she had a whole tractor thrown at her before.
Rogue has a fraction of Captain Marvel's powers. That's why. So
yeah,
like,
but she does have invulnerability. We've seen it in the comics. We've actually seen it in the Illuminati series. So she has.
Yeah,
when
she does.
Drained her. This was the like. Normally, it's a temporary thing. She drained her for a little bit too long, and she was able to keep her flight and her super strength. And she does have her invulnerability. She just doesn't have it on the extreme level like you would see some of the other.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you,
she got hit. Yeah. She got knocked right through a building, like through a brick wall. Like
Rogue, they use Rogue to fight characters like what's his name? The big dude with the silver mohawk. He's a galaxy destroyer and shit. I can't think. Who cares? I don't care anymore. I don't fight them with these names because there's so many different characters in X-Men. It's ridiculous. They use Rogue to fight characters like they're too big. Like Rogue has literally, if you remember the cartoons, Sentinels have punched Rogue to the ground, like into the pavement, and she just like, not a chance, sugar, and throws her hand up or whatever. Like Rogue does have some vulnerability, just not as much. Not Omega Red, just not as much as like Captain Marvel is like the power is personified. She has like a fraction of them, which gives her just enough to be badass, along with the powers, being able to steal people's powers and all that shit. But I mean, like, she does have invulnerability, just nowhere near as much.
Yeah.
That's it. The Guardian from the Shi'ar Empire.
I thought you were either talking about Gladiator. It's Gladiator is what I really think you're talking about. I don't think it's Omega Red. It's Gladiator.
I know it was Omega Red. It was Gladiator. Yep, Gladiator.
Yep. But I was gonna wait to see if he came to it. Like the Silverhawk. I'm like Silverhawks? No, Silver Mohawk guy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I couldn't remember that my brain was not clicking in. Yeah, Gladiator. But she didn't beat Gladiator. But at the same time, that's how you use Rogue against like Rogue. Go try to fuck him up.
Karlach is hard to beat in the comics, to be honest with you. He's not weak.
No, he is not. He's like one of those characters kind of like Lobo that people kind of forget about, but Lobo can't really be defeated. Kind of like Deadpool, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Lobo can't die either. So it's like, good luck. You know what I mean? It's like Lobo, Deadpool, and like Constantino's characters are kind of like, they're not going anywhere. You're not going to defeat that character. If they want you gone, you're going to be gone. So I mean,
well, I think that a really cool thing about that character, Gladiator in general, is if he like believes in himself, like how Peter Pan's like, do you believe in fairies? I believe that I'm awesome. Then his powers are like OP. But if he's like, damn, I don't think I can beat you, and then his powers suck. So that's literally it. That's literally what it is.
He has a Hanuman complex. Yep. Y'all know Hanuman is that the Indian deity, monkey god deity, not like Son Goku. And I say that because Son Wukong from Chinese mythology is the most powerful creature ever created in any mythology, canon. I don't care. There's nothing stronger than him. There really isn't. It's impossible. No character can defeat him. Seriously. Especially now since he has Buddhahood after the Journey West story. No character strong with Son Wukong. I don't know for who you pick. It doesn't matter.
You don't think One Punch Man could take him?
I'm going to explain to you why. Because Son Wukong has something called the 72 transformation technique. The 72 transformation technique doesn't mean he can transfer 72 things. It means he has 72 lives on top of his transformation. That's not the important part because he's immortal anyway. Because he had to at least kill him 72 times to stop him from being able to do anything else in the first place. That's beyond his several hundreds of thousands, billions, and whatever years he has to exist anyway. You got to kill him a lot to have that happen. But it allows him to transform into anything he wishes at any time, with his 84,000 hairs on his body. Now, he can't get rid of his tail, but it wouldn't matter. So, Son Wukong can take one of the hairs on his body, blow on it, and can transform into the exact version of you. Just as strong, just as knowledgeable, exactly just like you that he has full control over. That means that Sun Wukong at the very, and he can also bite his hairs, break them apart, and make more. He is at the very least at any moment 84,000 times stronger than you are at any time.
But
That's
that's
why.
just restraint. Can he build? Can he beat a reality bender?
Yeah,
How?
because he's hitting Buddhahood. See, before he could only do that transformation trick to anybody that wasn't like super enlightened, like the Jade Emperor or Buddha or whatever else. Now that he's Buddha enlightened, he can do that beyond himself. Since Buddha enlightenment in the Chinese mythology gives
No,
you
no.
that
I guess my
omnipotence.
question is this: can his consciousness
Mhm.
transcend into multiverses?
Yeah,
How?
he's already fought guys that have done that already. That's what
No,
happened.
how? But how does? I want to know how he does it. I don't care who he fights. How does he do it?
Oh, because he has that he got the training from the monks that gave him that ability in the first place, and then when he got to heaven, getting to heaven takes that kind of skill to begin with. But whoever he transforms into, so like he doesn't have all the skills Superman has. When he blows that hair and transforms it, everything Superman can do, it can do. Period, and it knows how to do it directly. So Sun Wukong can immediately master what you know. This is why all the gods had a hard time fighting in the first place. Without even using transformation jutsu, he didn't have to use it, or transformation skill. Whenever they came across him, he immediately can do what you know. He can imitate you exactly. He's just that fucking well off. He's
Now
one of
I'm
the
really
most.
sad because in Ruby, they have a son. Like son is actually based off of this character. He
Uh-huh.
gets his ass whooped all the time. So now I'm just really sad. That is
They
literally
do. They use Sun Wukong and like so many different medias to be like a throwaway character. Like, oh, y'all remember this guy?
he's
This
Yamcha.
they treat him like a
Yamcha.
Wolverine type. But
No,
in
he
the
is like
actual
Yamcha.
in the mythology, beating Sun Wukong is difficult, really difficult. And you have to find a way. You have to trick the shit out of him. And it's not before it wasn't too difficult. Like he was so arrogant. And that's why I made it the Buddha for him. It made it so easy. But Goku went and fought, or Goku Wukong, same person. He went and fought every deity, every constellation in heaven, and beat their ass. At one point, they even caught him and tried to burn him alive in a cauldron pot. He just broke free and then got the ability to see people's heat and have smoke resistance and
They said
fire
that they
resistance.
literally said, I wrote it up. They said the only thing that can actually beat him is Buddha himself.
Uh-huh. At this point, he wouldn't fight Buddha anyway, not now. But with his enlightenment, he can actually go on toe with Buddha at this point.
I
Because
can still see Buddha like picking up his pig and be like, "Sit your ass down."
Uh-huh.
Sit your ass down.
It's weird
like,
thing about
you don't rule this house, son.
right.
And you better put the dishwasher on, son.
It's weird thing about Buddha being able to like, fight. I mean Goku fighting Buddha now at this point because, why? You're enlightened. You shouldn't find a reason to fight in the first place. But like he can do that. And anything you can do, he can do. He can fucking copy Darwin. He can have a home for himself. And here's the messy part about it. Every transformation is hard and solid with their own ideas, their own emotions, their own feelings. They just all connected back to the one person who created them. And if he says, you're done, that's it. No else to it. That is insane. He's automatically 84th, at the very least, 84,000 times stronger than you. That is unrealistically fucking fair. That's so unfair, it's ridiculous. He is the most overpowered character in all of characterdom. I don't give a damn who your favorite character is. I don't. Even at this point, it's like, what about Zeno? Think it's going to stop Son Wukong? It's not going to do it. It's not. The Jade Emperor thought he could do the same thing. He lost badly. So no. Mm-mm. That's why it's unfair. That's the highest tier character. If you get some Wukong characters put in there, like one punch, get his ass beat by 84,000 of himself. Some bullshit. I'd watch it though. Kind of neat.
I would too. This is an interesting question. Aren't Scarlet Witch and the Phoenix like yin and yang? I read like they're opposite sides of two forces in the universe. I read. Does that sound accurate? The only thing I have a problem with is that technically, if you really go by the power scope of Phoenix, Phoenix should actually be more powerful than Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Because Scarlet Witch is a reality bender, but I mean, when you have cosmic energy that's capable of draining planets from the fucking future, that is really hard. Like, I'm running low. I'm just gonna go and take Earth 120 years from now, kill everybody, and take their energy to back me up.
Yeah,
that's kind of hard because last time I checked, Scarlet Witch couldn't time travel, and she couldn't actually affect anything in the future from her present. She could only rewrite her present.
Only now can't she do that for some reason. Yeah, don't spoil the multiverse of madness. I'm watching that tomorrow, so don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
You haven't watched it yet?
That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow for
Oh,
me.
oh, that's right. You guys are going on your multi-movie adventure date.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay. But yeah, so technically, I don't feel that that is an accurate statement. I don't know who said that, but no, they are completely different. A Nexus being is not on the same level as an omnipotent cosmic energy being. They're just two
Yep.
different things. So yeah, I would not pin them in a fight.
Now,
Um,
didn't we do that one already? Scarlet Witch versus the Phoenix.
we
Did we
did
do that?
Zatanna.
Satana
Yeah,
versus
we
Scarlet
didn't
Witch.
do
That's what we did.
Phoenix. Phoenix would actually kill Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Phoenix.
I'm
I'm not gonna lie.
a
Phoenix was
trillion
like
percent
he
certain that Phoenix would own
Scarlet Scarlet
Scarlet Witch.
Witch Scarlet Witch hit the first strike, and Phoenix was like, okay, that slightly hurt a bit. And I'm gonna fuck you up real bad. So hold on 1 second. And then Phoenix does what Phoenix does, go fucking ape shit and whip her ass. They'll be like, whoa, snap. That happened. So what now? Nothing. She got her
I
ass
mean, if
whooped.
you really put their powers like side by side, it's insane what Phoenix has.
Phoenix
It's
is
insane.
Phoenix is OP.
Yep, Phoenix
Like I
is meant
s-
to be OP.
like I said,
Yeah,
even though the Avengers constantly ignore X-Men hate crimes and shit for some reason, the X-Men are so much more powerful than the Avengers. It's ridiculous. Like the Avengers are just
look, cause comics. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Because I don't. There's so many things in comics I have questions
but
about.
hey, as an honorific though, the X-Men did try to recruit Spider-Man at a time. Then they realized Spider-Man was not born of the atom.
Everybody tries to
I know.
Everybody tries to get Spider-Man to join.
Spider-Man.
He's like, I am my own man.
Yeah, I know, right? But then, like, Spider-Man, when they find like, oh, you were bitten by a spider and then transformed after. Not quite the same thing. Like, nope, I'm not. I'd like to join you guys, though. Sorry I couldn't be part of your team, Professor X. Well, gotta go. The world needs me. And X's Professor Xavier is like, damn, he's so cool. Yeah, like I wonder why Cerebral didn't finally pick up on him. I didn't know what's going on. But then they try to get Deadpool at one point in the comics. That happened in the comics too. They tried to recruit Deadpool. It's like, but he was created after the fact. He wasn't born that way. He was like scientifically spliced to be like that. So like,
Yeah.
I don't get that shit.
I mean, like I said, people have very weird like prerequisites for what they like.
True.
And I don't understand it. And just like there's a little bit of hypocrisy in where they will like one character. I mean, this character is often, but this one's not real because this happened and they were modified. We're like, yeah.
Yep.
So it's like saying Wolverine, versus like Lady Deathstrike. It's like it's the same damn thing. It's the same thing. Like, I gave up on that. I'm gonna tell you, I do not spend my time arguing with comic book nerds or fanboys because they're just going to annoy me and then I'm going to lose interest in everything that you're saying. And then I'm just going to move on with my life and still believe what I want to believe and be happy about it. So it's just like, whatever, I mean, I've been reading comics a long time. I've forgotten half the shit I've read. I was born in the 70s, guys. I was born in 1976. I was bored. I didn't have the internet. So, I had a lot to do where basically a lot of time, should I say, with less technology. There was not. I did not grow up in a technological era. So
you just remind me something that I guess I know we can ready to close out in this a little bit anyway. But you remind me of something that I was talking to Jan about last night. We were watching this video about how technology has changed since back then to now, which is a whole lot. And evidently, like the technology difference is so advanced to like what we remember in our youth to what like Gen Z knows now as a difference between. I think people ride horse and carriage and having cars and shit. I can't remember. But like, anyway, he was talking about computer games in general, having basically a computer lab in school and the computer lab came around and all that stuff. And I made a mention reference that what was it? The mention reference was I said there was that one game that we all remember back in the computer lab. Everybody remembers. We all played it. And it's a constant reminder, especially to the minds of millennials. And she couldn't remember what I was talking about. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Because first she said Carmen Sandiego, and I was like, it's not a bad one to say. But that's not what I'm talking about. It's not Carmen Sandiego, that's what I'm talking about. And she just took her like a minute, like for real. Like, you don't remember? Computer Lab? We all played it. All of us played it. It's a collective consciousness thing. We all know what game I'm talking about. She's like, what? I just can't think of it. It's like, you don't fucking remember the Oregon Trail? She was like, oh my God, no.
Okay, so let me age myself, sir.
Yeah,
because I,
you're a Gen Xer. You're
I'm a
not the
Gen
same.
Xer.
I
So
said
we had a
millennials.
computer lab. Our computer lab is consisted of 486 computers that had processors that were nothing. They weren't even a Pentium. We would play a game called Tank Wars. It would take about
Actually,
7 minutes for the tank to shoot, and then you would watch it, and then the bell would ring, and then you couldn't play it anymore because you didn't have time. And when you came back, there was only one or two moves later because that's how slow the damn game was. Like, I had an Atari, and Atari was the shiz.
remember
When
Atari?
PlayStation 1 came out, I would party it. I was like, look at these advanced graphics.
I remember the Atari. My first game I played was Chopper Command on Atari 6400. That was
Oh,
a long
really?
time ago. That's my
I
very
had
first video
soldiers
game.
of, I had, was it Soldiers of Fortune or something like that? But they were like, looking at it now, I don't know why I was so entertained, but I mean, that's what we had. So, like I said, back in the day, guys, comic books, old ass VHS tapes, and like 8-bit technology is what I had growing up. Our cell phones were effing huge. we,
Bro, fucking Nokia
we
bricks.
had
No,
beepers, first of
you're
all.
talking about the really big ones, the fucking
Yep.
huge one. Are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. We had beepers, pagers, whatever you want to call them. People would beep you and be like, "Oh, I need to go." Like, I don't know how any of us were not kidnapped.
The beeper thing was hilarious to me. They even had a whole movie called I Got the Hookup that was about selling beepers. Oh my god, that movie was a long. Yo, beepers. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, beepers. What a weird invention. It's like somebody can send you a message. No, they was even sending their number like number go across stream. Next message says call me. Like, are you kidding me? This is what this is for? Fuck you. I'm not calling you. No shit.
Well, yeah, like I remember, like right now, like with my daughter, when they go out, they're like, "Oh my God, Mom, how am I going to get anywhere?" I'm like, Google Maps and Google was not even a thing until like the late 90s. I graduated high school in 1995. Google didn't start till like 97 or 98. I never had it. I had to go and like look at maps and figure out where the hell I was.
You know what's funny about that? Who said that? It's like, damn, we really are 10 years apart. I graduated high school in 2005. That's the funniest shit.
We are exactly two, because your birthday is December 7th and mine's December 8th. And we're exactly 10
years neat
old.
how like we're exactly a decade away from each other. So like that's hilarious to me. But like, I mean, y'all means that I was born in 86, not 76. But like, just like, oh man, like the difference in technology. Like I remember coming up, there were still Betamaxes, there were still VHSs, there was Laserdisc, all that shit existed. Like when I was a kid, we had cassettes every fucking way. Like CDs were common, but they were more expensive. Cassettes were like, oh my god, man, use a little pencil to like, you had a shit, ate the tape, you had to try to rewind shit to put it back in there and shit. Oh my god, I remember when the most expensive, coolest gifts I ever got was that the Home Alone 2 came out. We actually got one of those little Walkman things that Kevin McAllister had in the movie. We had to get that for Christmas. I wore that fucking thing out. That was the most coolest damn.
Okay, so I got a question for you then, since you're talking about that. Do you remember those big discs that had like the little small, like you would put the big freaking disc in, look like the size of a record. You put it into this machine, and you pull it out, and it would actually have like a little disc that would be inside of it. And then you put it in and then pull it back out. I cannot remember the name of that damn thing.
You sound like you're talking about Laserdisc. That's what Laserdisc was.
But it was a German version. So we were in Germany, so they had it was a little bit different. And it was so damn weird. And like you couldn't rewind it at all. You had to put it in, take it back out, and restart the movie. There was no restart. So if it like hung up, you were either out, like restarting the movie, or you're just not gonna watch it. There was no fast forwarding to the place that you left off. It was like none of that shit. And then when Blockbuster started opening, because I remember this,
that does sound like a really weird janky bootleg Laserdisc. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was strange. But like I said, the technology over there was a little bit different than the States. But when we came to the States and we went to Blockbuster, that was like the shit. We used to go on the weekends and go pick
Blockbuster
up
was the best.
That was the shit.
It was the best. I still remember our Blockbuster smell. I still have my Blockbuster card. I still have a Blockbuster card and a Hollywood video card, believe it or not. I see somebody say I still have an old Anita Baker cassette. Hold on one second. That's something I want to show you real fast. Hold on.
That's fine. And you know what? I have a Jackson 5 cassette.
Really?
I do. I have a yes, I do. But yeah, I'm old, so like, I'm pretty old. So that's why, because I have no memory, guys. When I tell you, when you guys ask me stuff, the fact that I remember what I remember is very impressive because I have forgotten half the comics I used to read growing up. I had stacks. I used to get my dad would get me comics on the base because he had to work a lot, and so I literally would have comic books every Tuesdays and Fridays. He'd go get them when we are in Germany. The American translated ones, and he would bring them home, and that was my entertainment because I wasn't watching TV. It was German television. So,
Thank
yeah,
you, Ray, for that
comics
comment. I
was my
see that.
stuff.
See that comment you had in the section there, Ray? I got Milky Way chocolate type skin. All right. So I don't know how old your
Ray,
entire
I told you
audience is.
stop being thirsty.
Okay, so I don't know how old your entire audience is, but I do have a Betamax cassette.
Cool.
I don't have a Betamax player for it either.
Well, I know me and Kevin are definitely older. He's 1979, so we're definitely older than you.
So some people may not remember these, but like just so you have a reference, like this is what a cassette size was like back in the day. This is like this one where you put from like you record something and put the thing on the inside,
Yeah.
It's kind of big. Betamaxes were this big.
Yep.
But they had a far better sound quality, and yeah, Betamax, Ray. This right here. This is a Betamax. This right here. Very
Betamax was, a lot of people don't know about that. Some people don't even know about the DV tapes and cameras. Yeah. Everyone thinks everyone started with memory cards. Like, we old.
Like, remember the time when it was like, between Blu-ray or digital DVD? Remember HD DVD? That's what it was, yeah? And when they didn't know which one was going to win out, back in the day, it was between the Betamax and the cassette. But the Betamax had way better sound and way better visual quality because it was more compressed.
Well, they were going to make Laserdisc versions of Blu-rays instead of just the straight Blu-ray technology. There's always been like a patent problem and a patent versus this is why you should do this better than this type situation.
Yeah. So. Yes. But the VHS won out because it was cheaper to produce and to sell. So
I'll tell you something else that you guys probably don't know. Back in the day with voiceovers, sometimes, you know how now you can actually project things, or you can have them on a monitor, stream whatever scenes that you need to see as a voice actor. I remember back in the day when we started voiceovers, when we wanted to dub over something, especially if we were doing like a parody, you were literally recording it while watching it on a VHS tape with a capture card. So you're watching it and recording it live to the tape instead of having it in a video editor or whatever. So there were tons of dubs and parodies that I did back in the day that were like that, where you literally had to just get the timing because you had one shot. And if you mess up that shot, you mess it up for everybody, and then you have to rewind and do the whole damn scene over. So yeah, that was problematic. Voiceover days.
I was not there for that.
I don't miss those days at all. But I like my sound booth for my monitor and all that stuff. I like my technology, but I will tell you, you don't miss what you don't have. So back when I was in junior high and high school, that there was not I couldn't even imagine being in a classroom playing on a tablet or a cell phone because that wasn't our lives. We didn't have that. We literally had to sneak comics in or wait for it, pay attention. Talk to each other.
No.
Actually be social.
A different time.
Seriously, my daughter freaking came out with an iPad, so I don't know what happened. Then her generation is just like all over. My daughter will come up here and say, I have this app that does this, and I'm like, why do you need that? I'm like, okay, live your life.
I ain't gonna lie, it was a crazy thing to me when phones became smartphones after a while. I was like, it's a phone. Why is it doing all that? Until I got my first smartphone, I was like, okay, this is kind of dope. This is neat, super dope, awesome shit. And I can't go back. I don't know.
I mean, Maria, your neighbors don't think you have DID. Laugh out when you practice all your voiceover work in the different voices. I am screaming. Well, when you have a sound booth that is fully padded and has, all the acoustic foam, it's like a little isolation chamber. So they really can't hear me in there.
That sound booth is super dope.
Yeah, it was also super expensive. So, but yeah, it's worth every penny because when I don't hear cars going by, I can't hear, people are making a racket outside. I can't hear it. So it's very noise isolating. But yeah, I guess on a general basis, when I do YouTube videos and Angry Grandma comes out, they may think I'm nuts. I don't know. I I haven't got any complaints, but I mean, they probably do. I'm like, that damn bitch is up there again talking to herself. Like, but
I'm like, crotchety old lady, don't you bother me, goddamn it, shit. I go,
I'm out here. You don't know who I am.
I go, okay, excuse me.
Blockbuster used to charge you if you forgot to rewind. Yep, it used to be 10 cents.
It used to be.
That.
It used to be. And they would charge a little bit of money because you didn't rewind that fucking tape. That be kind, please rewind bullshit. And after a while, remember they stopped charging for late fees, which is bullshit. They didn't really stop charging. They just kind of took that off and then added an extra charge for your next Blockbuster rental. I was just so fucking stupid. That's why it didn't last. I mean, beyond the fact that everything was going digital anyway. And then Netflix was like, shit, hold my beer.
But I mean, at the same time, though, it's still, there's such a level of nostalgia when you just, because of being able to go up there and get the latest movie that came out, and then you had like 3 days to bring it back. It just, I don't know, I really like that. I really, really like that thing.
I legit have a strong memory of like going after school with my little brother and my mom, and we would go by. We were in South Carolina, and we would go by Burger King after we got off from school and get a vanilla milkshake. That was really cool to get. And then like on the Fridays, especially because this is when it really happened, we had the milkshake after school because that's where we were military kids. And on Fridays, we would go to Blockbuster and we were able to rent one Sega game, one Nintendo game, and one Super Nintendo game each time. And I got to try a whole lot of new games that way. My little brother both. And that was like the coolest damn thing as we were kids. I was like, only happened in South Carolina. It didn't happen to that. But like, it was like basically like my first grade, second grade here. It was like one of the coolest memories in my mind because it only happened for that small moment. Like, man, that was a happy memory. I remember playing stuff like, like Scrooge McDuck. And I remember playing like Mega Man's 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 and shit. It was dope, man. That was a cool time when I was a kid. I remember like, when I first got a Sega Genesis, it was in my parents' room, which really pissed me off because we can only play when they were awake or they weren't in the room or whatever. So like at night, if I want to play Sonic 1, I couldn't play it. I was like, damn it, I want to play the game. But man, I still have that Sega too somewhere. But like, man, that was cool. Like being able to go Blockbuster. For those who missed out on Blockbuster, even though it was expensive, it wasn't cheap. Blockbuster was. If you were a kid during the time of Blockbuster coming out, that was your utopia. That was your chance to try.
I mean, that's what we used to do on the weekends, like after school. Like also on military, we were in a rental, Illinois Air Force Base. But like we would get like on Friday nights, we get to go there. And I remember they used to sell Butterfingers. Remember that? They'd have Butterfinger kind of thing. So you get your Butterfinger, you get your little popcorn, take home, and then pick out like you're a game or a movie or a game.
Like my mom, she would rent movies. Me and my little brother, oh no, it's always video games. It was game.
Yeah, I like games, but I did movies because I mean I have a film degree. We all know.
Yeah. So,
like, that's probably where it started.
We were trying to be like, oh, I don't want to play this. I'm playing Chip and Dale. I want to play Darkwing Duck. I'm like, I ain't thinking about that other dumb shit. Man, I miss those days. That was the coolest shit times, man. That was back in the day when Blockbuster actually let you rent a console. That was so long ago. You could actually. And I know y'all don't. Some of y'all may know, some of you don't. But like when I was a kid, you can go to Blockbuster and like rent a PlayStation or a Sega Saturn or N64 and bring it home and play it for like a good like 3 days or so and bring it back. What a weird, cruel thing to do. But like you could legit used to be able to rent a console, and I was like, what? Nowadays you don't even buy games anymore on hard copies. Now it's all digital. I'm still like I have Xbox One, but it's broken. So and I never got it fixed. Like the little USB port is all fucked up. I think the little metal strip in the back split. But like I still play my PlayStation 2 and my Dreamcast.
Yeah, I had a backwards compatible, but it got damaged, which made me so mad.
See, I still Red Planet 360. I still have a Super Nintendo. I still play rarely. A PS2, a Sega Saturn, and a Dreamcast.
Well, you know my favorite game in the world is Legend of Dragoon, which I really
Legend of Dragoon for the PlegStation. I remember that game.
It's my favorite game of all time. I love Final Fantasy VII, but I am a huge Legend of Dragoon fan. So
that girl had that attack where she shit on the opponents.
But she's really not. It's just because they had the air
on the opponent.
She stabs herself. She impales herself,
she
but because they
doo-doos on
couldn't
there.
have that in the States, they airbrush and it looks like she's taking a dump. So her demon gate looks like she's taking a dump. I get
She
it.
do
I
do.
understand.
She do on your opponent's motherfucker, and they were like, damn.
Well, you know what? Some of them she needed to take a shit on. Let's be real. I used to work at Blockbuster before I quit and walked out to Video Warehouse to call for a ride home. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You really do. When I was a kid, Blockbuster was my dream job before I was a teenager. Blockbuster, movie theater, or GameStop were the dream jobs as a teenager and freshman in college. Yeah, so GameStop was never one that. Yeah, I never wanted to work.
Had that dream. However, I can agree when I was a kid working at Blockbuster, like a really cool fucking gig. When I was younger, like, oh, I run on games and movies all day, especially games. Oh, I've been reading everything.
Yeah, Blur Without Fear used to work at GameStop here in Memphis. Remember, like back in the day.
Yeah, I've also people who worked at GameStop before. Some of them really enjoyed it. Some of them like, oh, never again. I've worked for a video game arcade before, but I never worked for GameStop. So
yeah, I think I had a lot of friends that worked at GameStops off and on. Yeah. It was weird. I mean, they always complained about it, which is so weird. It always put me on wanting to work there.
As a matter of fact, when we met, I worked at the Tilt Arcade at the mall.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not there anymore, obviously, but I used to work at that arcade. When we first met, that's why I was working at the Tilt Arcade at the mall.
Did not know that. Wait, which mall?
Wolf Chase.
Really?
Yeah, the one in Carousel. I used to work there for like 3 years.
Did not know that. Learned something new. See, back in the day, we had this mall called Mall of Memphis, which they nicknamed Mall of Murder because they found a bunch of dead bodies when they tore it down underneath. Yep. But that mall was cool back in the day because it had an ice ring. It had a really kick-ass arcade. It had a bunch of really cool. They had a huge movie theater. It was just cool. We used to hang out, and I was never a kid that liked the mall.
You know what's funny?
I liked that mall.
Never went to the mall in Memphis ever.
Really?
Never went. Never gone in my life, and it's gone now. I seen pictures. Jam tells me all the time what it was like, and I was so business and so great.
It was actually a really cool mall. Wolf Chase is nothing compared to what Mall of Memphis.
I even went to that mall that was downtown where you go to Gibson Guitars and all that stuff. That's not there anymore. Which I know why Gibson Guitars not there anymore. Like, I know why Gibson Guitars are there. I'll explain that to you like off camera. I can't tell you that on camera why Gibson Guitars are there. I know personally some stuff that I really can't be saying out loud. But yeah, like
shady.
It kind of is. It's shady. It's kind of funny, but whatever. I might get into that on camera. But I've been all those. I've been what was it called? Like the Peabody? Where like what was that little
Peabody Place Mall?
Yeah, I've been all those. I never been to Mall Memphis. I've been to Raleigh Springs malls out there anymore. I've been all those.
Yeah, Raleigh Springs. That was actually before where we live. They like to get rid of stuff that's cool. So we had a Hot Topic there. We only have one left in the entire city, which is actually in
Wolf Chase Mall.
Yeah, but every time we like something and they shut it down, they take it away.
That's what they do, because what it is. We don't know how to act, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want. I was loving Capcom like Street Fighter and Dark Stalkers back in the day. I remember Dark Stalkers. I like Street Fighter Alpha, and I liked Capcom like versus games. Like I was always a big Street Fighter versus Marvel fan and all that. So.
First of all, Dark Stalkers was the shit. Like was cool. Street Fighter is cool. Street Fighter's always been cool. They got Street Fighter 6 coming out, I think now. That's right, Street Fighter 6. They're still coming out with new Street Fighter games. But like Dark Stalkers,
I love King of Fighters, so I was always
my first Dark Stalker was actually Night Warriors, Dark Stalkers Revenge, and that was like, that game tripped my head up playing with like like Rikuo or Felicia or oh my god or I can't think his name now. The word my brain is like all over the place with names at the moment. But that game was fun as hell. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Get ready, fight. And Sasquatch who taking the he had a character Sasquatch. He was a fucking Sasquatch. He'd flick you. He was so big he'd flick you and knock you backwards. It was like, why is that somebody you can fight? Why is that a thing?
I mean, man, half the big bosses of games are all on crack. Like that one in Ninja Turtles used to sit on you. I'm like, what sit on me? What the hell is
that? Oh man, the thing about was crazy because like I cannot remember the word was name all right now. I really can't. I don't know why. He's like my favorite character. I can't remember him. But I do. John Talbane, what he's called in America. He had a different name in Japan, but it was neat because he's a werewolf. He was sitting there using nunchucks and shit. Imagine somebody transformed to a werewolf and was like, Like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. It's not a fight I want. I take it back. Never mind. Whatever I said earlier, I'm so sorry. I will clean your house. I will wipe your ass. Please do not fight me. Don't hit me. I'm so sorry.
Did you ever play Killer Instinct?
Hell yeah.
So back in the day, I'm not talking about on PlayStation or any other console. I was an arcade girl. I was
arcade
an
version.
Arcade girl. And so I would walk in there, and see, they didn't know my love for Orchid because they didn't know I was queer. And so and she was flashing people. So I learned everything there was about that. I was combo breaking people like left and right. And people were like, because when women come in or girls come into the arcade, they're like, she's a button smasher. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know who I was. I memorized every effing combo. I timed every combo breaker. I used to have men pissed. Grown men older than me pissed the hell off because what we would do is we go and put a quarter on the machine and then you take that quarter. Yes, that's when video games cost a damn quarter.
That's a long time ago.
Put it in the machine, start playing the game, and then until you got beaten, that was just your game. And then people will put their quarters up to challenge you, and then they come.
As a kid, I used to hate going to arcades. Hate going to arcades. There's always somebody in there that played that game too damn much, had a real job. And they can afford to waste their funky ass money being there for like 3 hours a day. Because you're really there like all day long playing the game, beating it over and over again. That's only like, especially if you don't lose, that's only like what, $5 of your paycheck. So like they pay you some fucking much and you come over and start playing them and they mop your ass. And I remember like when I was a kid, like one of my uncles, video game. His name is Robert. His video game ridiculous. He used to whoop our ass all the time. Now his son Danny, he's amazing. I ain't gonna lie. I try to play him video games. When he was a kid, I was better beat him real easy. Now he like makes me look stupid. I'm too old. But like, I remember going to arcades and playing like Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and getting beaten. I'm like, I don't like this no more, man. I don't make this game more fun. I don't like it. I never with Killer Instinct. I was really good with Cinder. I was really good with Full Gore. I was pretty good with Saberwolf and okay with Orchid.
Not After that, combo, man, the soundtrack for Killer Instinct was bad.
Not one, not two, but three. Yeah, kick it, doom, 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 doom.
I still have the CD.
Really? I used to have it. I used to have the Killer Cuts. I
have it.
No, I do have it. I have it on vinyl. I'm not kidding. I do have it on vinyl.
That's badass.
Like, I'm gonna show it to you. Hold on, I'm gonna show it to you. Because it's cool as shit.
He's gonna show him the final version. But now Killer Instinct was my game. That and Mortal Kombat 2. And eventually I transitioned into Capcom games because I like fighting games. I've always liked fighting games. The only RPGs I've ever played besides Legend of Dragoon, I think, are any Final Fantasy games. But outside of that, I am a newbie. So all you Fortniters and stuff, you're not speaking my language. I don't know what I'm doing. If you want to see me play games and be embarrassed, I will do a Twitch channel how not to play because I will get my ass whooped every time. My daughter is a brilliant game. She's a gamer. She plays every damn thing. But that is not me. Not me. I see headphones. Is that what you wanted to show us?
I tell you, I'm nerdy. I am fucking nerdy. That is the vinyl version.
You got the vinyl.
Killer Cuts.
Oh my god!
Not kidding. And I found this on like supreme accident. And like, here's the crazy part: the color of it is green.
Wow.
Yeah, like no lie. I don't know how I messed around and found this on vinyl. We were just out and about.
You have a player?
Yeah, I have a record player. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it's actually easier to get them now, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Every night I gotta listen to it, man. Oh my god! Like the fact that I have that, in all honesty, I'm just like, why do I own this? But I own it. It is mine. It is dope as hell. I might listen to vinyl movie done this whole stream. Like, oh, put some vinyls on. Just lay down and think.
Well, we're gonna end the stream in a minute because we've been in 2 hours. I have to watch Charmed in an hour, and then 8:30. Some of these guys will be back with me, and probably many more to talk about Charmed, especially since it got canceled. This is the last season, so we got a lot to talk about.
Feel good, doesn't it?
Actually, no, I like Charmed.
Really?
Yeah,
it's a lot of the CW shit.
Yeah, this was actually one of the better shows, especially this season. This season actually is really good, and they are axing it. It's crazy.
Supernatural and Lucifer were the two best things out of
You do
CW
know
for
that they
me.
have a spin-off coming called The Winchesters. It's a prequel
Yeah, I
show.
know, and I'm so excited about
I
it.
know you are.
I'm so
I
excited.
know you are.
I fucking love Supernatural. Oh my god, I love Supernatural.
You know what that
Oh
means? You
my
have to
god.
watch the CW network.
Nope.
Oh, uh-oh.
Nope. I'm gonna go watch it on HBO Max or some. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna figure. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna find a way. I'm trying to watch CW.
So I'm going to close out the stream with something that just came across my news feed that is a neighborhood over from me. A guy just backed up into my driveway, got out and started looking around in my backyard. I tapped on the window and asked if he needed help. He said, "Oh, is this not where the salon is?" And she said, "Ha, you know this is not where the salon is." And he said, "Yeah, you're right," and drove off. Memphis, 901. I'm like, that's all I got to say about where
That's
we
how that he
live.
should have his ankle shot. Nigga was trying to rob that house.
Where we live.
He was trying to rob that place. He should have got shot in the legs. Nope.
Like literally trying in the middle of the day with her sitting on the porch. Like
Tell my
that.
son. Tell my son. Ha. Yeah, you right. Yeah, I know. Bah, get your ass out of here.
And you see a picture of the guy, he is bald. What hair were you trying to get done at the salon? You know what? Go home. Go home.
Probably some random ass crackhead with a driver's license or with a car he stole. Like I'm telling you right now.
You see, guys, this is what you get when you hang out with us on Friday.
This city ain't shit, man. Ugh.
No, we had to pray about it. All right, guys. I will be seeing you guys at 8:30 for the Charmed stream because you know we got a new episode tonight. Which again, we got 5 left, and then it is over. So we will have much to discuss, and now we get to have the anxiety of what will they not be able to close out before the end of the series? What storyline is not going to be finished? I mean, it's
disgusting.
But you know, we're still going to keep the charm train alive for the next 5 episodes. So you know,
That's
we'll
up
be
to
here on
y'all.
Friday nights.
Oh yeah, so the next stream, I remember some of y'all said you want to hear me, Maria, or Maria and I. No, you want to hear me, Maria. I said it first time. Talk about either random. Okay, let's put it this way. There was somebody requested random comic book shit, just back and forth, which is cool, whatever. Or you can have us talk about random nostalgia, because that was
actually we can do all. We can talk about comic books. We can talk about nostalgia. We can just have Friday hangouts. Do a Friday hangout.
You know what though?
Friday nerd hangout. Now
you know what?
Whatever the hell we want.
You know what? We can't have forever. At the while, I'm gonna have classes to teach on Friday, so it will have to change in a little while. But I teach martial arts. Serenity. I miss everything. Curse you, Sleepy Friday. Yeah, well, sorry to hear that. Sorry to tell you that, but it is what it is. But instead, what could happen is, because I know, like, I teach martial arts. If y'all don't know. And I know I'm gonna start teaching Fridays now pretty soon. Not pretty soon, but soon enough, like within the next month or so. Because that's part of the thing. What may happen, we can do the Friday thing at first. We might end up changing it after a while to either Wednesday or Sunday or Saturday. Because it might be a weekend thing, like a weekend hour or so of just talking about.
It more than likely will be a Saturday because Sundays I try to very hardly reserve for my spouse because being married you want to see your partner.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And between YouTube and voiceovers and all the stuff I'm doing, it's a lot. So, but yeah, we'll figure that out. We will figure it out. But yeah, since you are not starting next Friday, we could probably see what kind of schedule you guys have on Friday and see if we can do a random Friday hangout.
We can definitely do it. Next Friday can definitely do it. Next Friday we can do a Friday night hangout. And at least y'all here is like discussing plans in real time. Look at that. Aren't y'all fortunate? Because that's how much Moon Knight sucked. You get to hear us talk about plan setting.
Yeah, we normally go off the rails, but we never go off the rails like this. We spend like 53 minutes off and on talking about Moon Knight, and then
usually this is a talk we have. We have a talk we have after the cameras are. We're having it now because Moon Knight was that bad. Moon Knight was so bad it made us discuss our future plans in front of y'all. Like you can thank Moon Knight for his bullshit, perseverance and effort. Fuck that damn show.
No, we look.
Anyway.
Not only our future plans, we started having nostalgia and flashbacks. That's how bad it was. Like we're talking about going to Blockbuster when we were younger. That's pretty sad.
Actually, I like that. You can call the show Nerd and Groove. I like that. That's kind of funny. Nerd and Groove.
The Nerd and Groove Friday hangout.
Nerd and Groove.
We'll just say Nerd and Groove hangout. That went on for Friday in there. If the day
no, I like it actually. That's not a bad idea.
Okay, then you know what you guys need to do. I'm gonna put on the community tab. I'm gonna post on the community tab. Like just a question, what you want to talk about on Friday for our Nerd and Groove, our 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about comic books, TV shows, whatever, and anything nostalgic, if we know it, we might have no problem. I have no problem talking about Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs.
Yo, we should do that. We should do that. Oh my God! Oh, like Silverhawks.
Talk about whatever you want to talk about, because we got a plethora of nerdiness.
Fucking Mask. Oh, we're talking about Mask. Oh no, the Teddy Ruxpin cartoon. Oh, that's like
Lord.
Oh no. Oh, better get Brave Star. Oh my God, I would love to talk about Brave Star for like.
You talk about whatever you want. Old cartoons,
so cool
comic book storylines, whatever.
My brain's doing stuff like remember David the Gnome? Hell yeah, I remember David the Gnome. Like, oh man, I'm just like, my brain is like jumping around and shit. Fucking the wuzzles and shit and the littles and the little bits. Oh my God.
What was the 90s dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs. Not to be confused with Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Yeah, completely different. But yeah, so we will have that moment. That is not a problem. So
I'm down for that. We can even have a spouse episode.
The community tab because we don't have any MCU stuff to talk about right now.
No, we don't.
But I will be with your wife tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I'm gonna set that stream up because we are doing our Bridgerton season 2 discussion, and I know she's got lots to talk about. So we're gonna be talking about that. So if you guys saw Bridgerton season 2, tune in tomorrow at 11. So
I've never seen an episode of Bridgerton, but everybody.
Bridgerton is awesome. But
everybody's saying that, but I'm like, I don't feel like watching a drama about people trying to get laid. That's not. If it's not a straight up porno, I don't care.
There's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot more going on than that, but that's fine. That is fine.
Wait a minute, why am I bowling, Ray? I'm bowling? Why am I bowling? What?
I love that I'm a Sami though, because that is so true. That's so true.
I'm bowling.
I'm a fire sign too.
You just got finished calling me charming with chocolate skin, and now I'm bowling.
Bowling is like one of the most charismatic people in Korra's universe. What would you rather be, Mako? Come on. Anyway, take the win. Take the damn win.
He's so goofy though, man.
Yeah, and he got his own movers. The Nantuck series is all about him, and he gets a.
Okay, that's true.
Damn time. So
he also had a whole lot of lovers. He also invented lava bending. All right, I give it. All right, you know what? I'll leave it be. You're right.
There you go. There you go. You were right. We got you. All right, guys, we are heading out. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the Groupster, and we will set up. I will post on the community tab in a little while, so make sure that you guys tell us what you want to talk about on our open. It's basically whatever. So whatever you want to talk about, put it in there, and we'll pick some stuff, and then we'll make it about that, and then we'll venture off the rails and go crazy. It's fine. All right, I will see some of you at 8:30 for the charm stream, but if I don't, if it is night for you, have a good night. If it's day for you, have a very good day. And
I am not the cabbage guy. You're very right.
Bye, guys.